start the stream. Somebody. All right, stream's up.
Sounds like they're gonna have one
Just him?
or Matt with Rowdy.
Oh, is Rowdy coming? Okay. And then we'll figure that out when they get here.
So he said they'll probably be here closer to 8:30.
Oh, that'll be cool. That'll be cool because then we can start knocking some stuff out because I want to talk about the eclipse for a little bit. Test your mic. Won't go down to the water's edge. Yeah, just have them text us and then we'll do whatever. I want to go down, water's edge. Now you got that fucking song stuck in my goddamn head. Don't like what you're gonna see. Test your mic. I got headphones over here, right?
Hey, chat.
Yeah. Yuck.
My mic sounds good to me.
All right. Well,
Yes, everything sounds good to me.
we are live.
Live. It is live. Oh, look at that big, beautiful bald head.
Let's go down to the water's edge. Fuck. Got that stuck in my head. It's not even funny.
Beautiful bald head.
Let's bring these down a little bit. Let's make the room.
Oh,
Let's make your tractor sexy. Ooh, that got real blue. You blue.
man, my freaking YouTube is stuck on daytime mode. I need night computer, night Mac.
Night Mac.
Yeah,
Night Mac.
defender of the
Day Mac.
against the day Mac.
Oh, that light's out up there. That's why it's dark in here. Why'd that light go
So-
out? Oh. Let's see if that changes anything real quick. Hi.
Son of a bitch. Oh.
All right. Let's start this thing up. Let's get it
See if
going.
I can turn this into night Mac.
Night Mac.
Ooh.
Yo. Defender of the.
Ooh.
Let me pop out this chat.
Where
In the world is
Yes.
Carmen Sandiego.
or Matt Lauer? Can you joke? Is it too soon? Can we make jokes about Matt Lauer yet? It's been 20 years, right? Or did he get a pass on everything?
What about him being bad with his privates?
Yeah, didn't he?
He had a lock on his door
Didn't he have some rather risque incidents
with women.
with women in superior, or I guess that he was superior to? I guess
I
is that
think
the
s-
right terminology, or did I say that in
I
a
think so,
total
but
way
in,
that would get me killed by feminists?
in my world, that's fine.
That I get killed by feminists?
Yes. No, that you flex your superiority over women.
Eh,
Eh.
she'll get over it, right?
Oh.
Dude, dark theme.
Jokes.
Yes, dark theme is
You
back.
got your dark theme going?
Yeah, I don't know how I don't know how my Mac got turned to Daymac.
Probably some
Daymac's
stupid
too
iTunes
abrasive.
update.
You know?
It is pretty
It's
abrasive.
like, whoa, man, hey, you're gonna have to calm it down with those lights.
All right, let's fire this thing up.
Let's see here.
Let's do this. Here we go. We stop. We hit start. You ready?
Yes.
Previously on JJTM.
Which one of you ladies would have the most? If we had a black light
on right now? Which one of y'all would have the most DNA
That
on your
sounds good.
face?
I don't even like podcasts. They make me fall asleep. So
This episode of the J. Jones Last Kicker is brought to you by
Geist Note.
and
Victor Wrench.
and Plastic Object.
The Jerry Jonestown Massacre contains graphic material, including offensive language, partial nudity, and completely ridiculous thoughts and opinions that shouldn't be expressed or shared by anyone. Listener discretion is advised.
And now coming at you from the Temple of Eye, just on the outskirts of where the West begins, it's two of the biggest cocks that I know.
It's the Jerry Jonestown Massacre!
It show number 571. It is Tuesday, April 16th, 2024. Happy Tuesday, Matt.
Happy Tuesday, Dustarino.
It's just the two of us right now,
Yep.
but this is going to be a little weird night because we got some guests coming in. They're just going to be a little bit late because they're very busy individuals. And this song should kind of give away who's coming in.
Yeah, I got to watch my phone. I have responsibility during the show to watch my phone
So
for them to let me know when they're coming because they got busy lives.
They got very
they're
busy lives.
Very busy boys.
very busy lives. Teaching,
Yes.
doing some crazy things like that.
Yes. And happy Tuesday to everyone in the chat.
So what we thought we'd do is we get the show started, get going, talk about a few things because we weren't here last week.
Yeah.
And last week was a pretty big week for us. It was kind of crazy because we went out of town, and this entire region of the country was obsessed with the sun.
Death, morbid terror.
And now that we're a week out of this, I don't think my body's out of
I know, me
sync.
too. Yeah. I was thinking that the other night. I was like, man, I think when after the full eclipse happened and you had that peek through of the sun and you could take you still had your glasses off, so you could put your sunglasses on and still see it.
Yeah.
I think something happened then.
Well, I think
I
I
got
body
reprogrammed.
my body got confused and was like, all right, it's younger nighttime Dustin mode. And it's time to party. So now my whole insides don't know how to function because when it gets dark is when I'm waking up now.
Yeah.
And I've always kind
That's
of been
me.
that
I've-
way, but
yeah,
now
me
it's
too.
hardcore.
Yeah.
Like thanks to the sun changing and
I've
being
noticed
dark in
that
the middle of the
too.
day.
Maybe we're night pod.
Maybe we are. And not to fall down the weird crystals.
I never
and-
heard how it went over here. Did everybody
Everybody
see it
seemed
well?
to, yeah.
So it was basically
it
the
cleared
same
up.
atmosphere as what we had.
Yeah. A lot of people gathered over by the museums. Now, they didn't get it near as long as we did. We had it almost 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was a long time.
A long time. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that could get done.
Yeah.
We pillaged and burned and raped the small town we were in.
You know that it's this funny thing is like I remember things in patches of the event. And it's because it's such a weird event. But do you remember just the other day, a week ago, right? No,
It was last Monday, yeah. it's
last
a week
Monday,
ago.
yeah. So over a
week and
week
a day.
ago. How some of the people were just continuing work
Yeah, just doing their own thing, like those guys on the
Like,
left.
oh, it must be a storm coming in
Oh, no
or
big
something,
deal.
man.
But all traffic came to a stop, and everything
Yeah.
got weird quiet, and most of everybody, except for these guys at this
Behind
feed
you.
store,
Yeah,
but
man.
everybody was looking at the sky.
Like, those-
And if you were a pickpocket,
dude,
you could add a bunch of wallets.
and that feed store, man, they must be the top notch feed store in all of America because they didn't stop at all, man.
Well, they were just they're
bet you their
they're country
bosses-
boys. They're just like, we don't believe this mumbo jumbo.
That what is it? What is it that Han Solo calls the
Kooky religions.
kooky
I'm
religions?
not into these kooky religions. Well, speaking of
Now
which,
keep working.
I'm not into kooky religions like crystals and jewels and all that stuff you got to lay around your body and put on
Not
you
yet.
and stuff. I'm definitely not into that.
But it opened up.
But
Your third eye saw that.
when that was some weird spiritual feeling that washed over all of us.
That was weird.
That was very, very, very strange. And all
Yeah.
these people talk about, oh, it changes your life. You do this and you come back different.
Eh.
I came back haunted.
I came back bloated.
I came back not wanting to make the drive home.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was a big deal. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen. There was one when I was a little kid, and for some reason we didn't get to go outside and check it out, and I was at school.
I was at home when that one
And,
happened.
So I've never seen anything like that. So much to the point that I was saying that I would be willing to travel to a place that was going to experience another one if it was like a long,
We're
like
going to
make a-
Iceland.
yeah, like
and
that.
then we're going to Spain.
Right.
And then we're going to Portugal. Yeah, here's the thing is, like, I wanted to relive that 4 minutes over again and again and again. Like, days after that, I was like, I want that 4 minutes again. I want to feel that again.
You think that
It was like orgasming. I'm not going to lie. Like, I
like a 24-second one?
driving back home, I told Susie
Ugh,
that
a
I was like,
5-minute one?
I feel like I just had like a long orgasm and my body is worn out.
Almost
from whatever
5-minute
happened.
long one.
Yeah,
Oh.
that is freaking awesome.
I don't know. So I bet the studies, whoever does the studies on these type of things, I bet you do. You probably release some DMT. I bet because of the I don't know,
Euphoria of
it's-
everything.
yeah, kind of the adrenaline and everything, and how your clock.
And I
gets,
had a
your-
fuck ton of adrenaline going
your
through me.
your clock gets flipped like real quick, and it's just weird on your body. I bet, and also I don't. This is what I was telling you the other night when we were going to the show, or I can't remember where we were talking, but it felt like this had like rays, like zzz, like it was almost like you could feel it in your body. The whole event. It's like all of a sudden your body changed for 5 minutes.
That's what I'm saying.
And then came back and was normal again.
And now I'm in a weird,
Like a vibrating
I feel,
sensation.
Yeah, I feel like my body's in a different spot. Like I'm in a different place right now, and it's going to take a little while to
That's
recover.
what I was saying. What if we woke up like after the
Somewhere else.
Yeah, like after the eclipse climaxed, I guess, for lack of a better term.
I did.
But after that happened, what if we look around and all of a sudden we're like it was like 1840s or something, and we're like out in the middle of like northeast Texas, where
With our
all
vehicles?
the Native Americans.
It's
No,
ju-
we're just like bam, we're like oh, everything disappeared, and we're just there.
And we're just standing there.
Yeah, we're just in a new like someone hit
We have nothing
reset.
to protect ourselves, and
Yeah,
these Native Americans are running us down.
aliens are in it.
Hmm.
It's all Westworld.
It is all Westworld. It was pretty freaking crazy. It was nuts.
Yeah.
Got some fun photos. Now, a couple of things have happened since we've been home because I did some research on a few things. Well, these stories popped up. I didn't really do that much research. Let's be for real. But there was a story about how in 1973 a group of scientists sat in the totality for 74 minutes.
Wow. Like moving with it.
You know how they did it?
Airplane.
Concorde.
Yeah.
They took the Concorde 001 and they took off when it went across the Tropic of Cancer, they took off, got ahead of it, let it catch up with them, and then kept the plane flying at 1,300 miles an hour, so they could observe it for 74 minutes. And before they did that, they equipped this Concorde with all sorts of stuff across the top of it, so they could see out the top.
Right.
And different areas, they modified it. But they flew it Mach 2, keeping up with totality, and finally it beat them because as they're flying at 1,300 miles, it says 1,350 miles per hour, or for our British friends over there, 2,200 kilometers. The Eclipse moves at 1,500 miles per hour.
That's fast. That was weird seeing all the high altitude aircrafts that were flying around with it.
There's a lot of people in my different photography groups and stuff. They got photos of planes in the crossing over wherever they were standing. I think some of them faked it. There's a bunch of weird faking these photos, making things look better. Have you got to see any of mine? Mine are real. I didn't go in there and hyper manipulate any of them.
No,
just zoomed in, zoomed out.
Yeah, that and there was way more. I felt like there was more solar flares in your pictures than the last round.
Yeah, there were a lot of solar flares.
That was cool too.
Now, the other thing is, there's a group of individuals, and I'm starting to get to the point. I like conspiracy theories. I like good ones. Good ones.
Yeah,
real good
all
ones.
enjoy
Like
those.
I like diving into the deep JFK ones, and old ones that we've all grown up with. But not every fucking thing that happens in this world is a conspiracy theory. Not
sure?
Shit actually happens in real life. The moon actually moves in front of the sun.
What?
Because there's a group of individuals, and there's a guy on my Facebook wall right now that thinks that this was either Planet X, Nero, whatever, that moved in front of the sun, and it was a test to see who can get the flu and who can get, if it could amplify COVID or take away COVID. And then there's another conspiracy group that thinks this was a test of Bill Gates trying to black out the sun. Like he keeps saying he wants to help stop global warming and all that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you guys are fucking idiots. Come on. Stop being stupid. And this guy's like, I got all these filters and stuff that I put over my camera phone to get these photos to show you that it's not really the moon. I'm like, you used a fucking camera phone with filters, and here I can show you craters on my photos of the moon.
Yeah,
let's compare shit.
I think some people just post that to start trolling. Like the Proud Boys that started trolling people back in the day.
Well,
I think that's what everybody's trying to do that now. And the flat Earth,
it wasn't just the
flat
Proud
Earthers,
Boys.
The flat Earthers, they like it's.
There's the 4chan group that started all that crap and started trolling everybody.
Yeah.
There's a great documentary on Netflix now.
Yeah,
I forgot what it's called, but it's all about them coming out and being like, "Oh yeah, we started flat Earth just to piss
to
people
get
off and get people going, and now it's a whole movement and people really do believe it."
It's funny how whenever you are on social media, if you just to test it out, just put something that's completely not a non-populous idea or thought, completely opposite of it, and see the reactions you get, as opposed to when you're like, you make just a valid point, but it's just like a normal, well thought out point.
I'm trying to get something started. I tried to get it started on Saturday. That the Blue Angels were flying all over Fort Worth, spraying chemtrails all over everybody. Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
We need to keep that going.
That's a good effort.
I'm gonna post some more photos here later, and I'm gonna do the same thing.
Yeah, that's a good effort.
Yeah.
I think that could pick up stick. That could get some legs.
That they're just crop spraying everybody.
Yeah.
With what is it? Aluminum particles.
Because surely someone doesn't believe that Second Earth traveled to here to see how this new Fauci created fish market virus started traveling around. That's the silliest shit I've ever heard.
I don't even know.
I don't like. That sounds like a bad setup for a movie.
You want me to read through this?
About the other ones?
About
that one kicks me in the nuts pretty hard. I don't know if we should.
I mean, I'm not going to say any names, but these people probably know them.
Has there been any Nazi ones?
There was another object that caused this event. Some would digress deeper and say Planet X. Nibiru was the eclipse creator. Some say a large asteroid. All I can say is if you respect the moon's path and what constellation it was in prior and after, some doesn't line up. And then he goes on and says, go pull up a map. Well, I pulled up 4 maps today because I was going to get in here and go, tell me. He goes, pull up any map and you'll see the moon wasn't in front of the sun. I was like, well, here's 4 maps for you to choose from. I mean, this guy's a dumb. He's an idiot musclehead.
Whoa.
That has no idea how astronomy works. This guy
Skip.
Pretty close. I mean, just
Redstone.
It's one of those things. Stay in your own lane.
Oh yeah.
Go over there and dick around with your hot rod. I'm not going to come over there and tell you how to soup up your badass car. If you don't come over here and start talking about shit in the sky that you have no fucking clue how it works. It's really, really easy to figure all this stuff out. Really easy. And if you actually know a little bit of math, you can tell where the path of the moon is going to be over the next 40, 50, 100 years. You can chart it out.
Yeah. There's been artists and stuff that used it. Cool things.
It's just aggravating. Stupid.
That's a wild one, though.
Now,
that's a wild theory. I don't.
Now, if you want to get and this is what's going to happen.
Right.
If you want a good conspiracy theory, in September we're going to have another event that is a star in our night sky is going to go supernova, and it's going to look like a hydrogen bomb went off in the sky for about 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
In the night sky, you're going to just see this giant nebula of explosion.
There's going to be so much.
This explosion is thousands of years old. The light is just now reaching it. The star has been dead for, let's say, 5,000 years. But the light from that star exploding is just now reaching us. So there's going to be so many fucking people go, oh, they're doing nuke tests in the sky. This is the government doing nuclear tests, and they're trying to blow stuff up in the sky and blah, blah, blah. Get ready for these conspiracy theories.
I'm sure, because that sounds gnarly already. You don't even have to throw in the conspiracy part. I'm like going, what the hell?
It says for 2 days, you're going to be able to see it with the naked eye, and for about a week, you'll be able to see it with a telescope and binoculars and cameras and stuff.
That's what they're telling us.
But they're just testing.
What if that's the reason?
What if it's Star Wars?
What if that's the reason that nobody in government really gives a shit anymore? Like in the U.S., is that because they know that there's some information that has been handed to people they know or whatever in this elite society that knows that there's this big flash is actually going to burn the whole planet alive?
Well, it's 3,000 light years away. Nothing is going to hit us. It's way too far to hit us. But this is just light hitting us.
Though, man. And we don't know. It might have something to do with COVID, too.
You know, the theory is, it's not a theory. It's kind of told. When you go out in the night sky and you look up, everything you look at's dead.
Yeah. It's like a couple of million years.
It's all
already
millions
happened.
of years old. All that light is just now hitting us.
That is going to be weird, though, if all of a sudden. What if it's so powerful it stays, like, we stay lit 24 hours? Like, the sun goes down and
this stays up.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be cool if we can see it they say for 2 days you'll be able to see it with the naked eye. Damn. 2 or 3 days.
Man, some crazy shit happening.
It's cool as shit. I mean, all this astro stuff is awesome. The thing you got to worry about, though, that everybody
is the panic here.
No one even looks into this stuff, and I bet it won't be reported on except for nerd agencies. It's not going to be like the news freaking out every day about this eclipse happening
calling
in North
for
Texas.
A Texas state of emergency.
Yeah, we got to shut down the highways, bring in the National Guard, and when it was just
people.
Well,
yep,
that's it. Yeah. Even my company had everybody stay in.
Let's go eat some beans and cornbread.
And all of them were like, we have no idea why we stayed in, but it was cool. We got to hang out, do our training, and go outside and look at it, and Go home.
Yeah.
But then I don't know. People get all worked up over the stupidest shit, and it's just like the devil comet.
Yeah. Did
It's the
anybody
end of
get
the world.
pictures of it?
Did you see all the people that floated into the sky when we were watching the eclipse?
Yeah.
When the rapture hit, that was awesome.
Yeah. Did that happen?
No,
We left behind?
no, none of this shit happened. It was supposed to be the end of the world.
Yeah.
None of that happened, and people don't
Or we
also
weren't
think
on
that.
the nice list.
And everybody
we might
thinks
not be
like
on the nice list.
when the eclipse comes, it's gonna end the world. But they don't realize that the eclipse happens over
Yeah.
several thousand miles. Is it just supposed to like burn a laser and kill everybody in that path? What?
I don't know. It's a new phenomenon, I
And that's like-
guess, because of social media and stuff.
We're all
Like,
gonna be wiped away at midnight.
But if you think about it, everybody's freaked out about it, the actual events happening. Like that's why there's so many religious ties to eclipses and the sun and the moon and all that, right? And the earth. So the thing is, it's
this one did not signify anything, though.
no, my point is, it's like now we have more things to scare. We have more tools to connect to each other to scare each other. It's almost like, you know how when you tell camp stories, like haunted house stories or whatever, spooky stories around the campfire. Well, you know how things usually get spookier for you when you're telling them is like it's just because your mind starts playing head games and someone's flashlight goes out and then next thing you know, little Billy grabs a little boob or something in the dark and you're like, whoa. No,
I don't know where you're going with this.
I'm just saying we overhype.
Why are you pointing fingers at me?
I'm just saying we overhype things in a way that we didn't used to. It's not like we had. It's not like we had all these social media outlets where we could just sit there and bounce these crazy ass ideas off each other all the time. Like it was more controlled.
You bounce idiotic, stupid ideas off each other too, and people are stupid.
That's what I'm. And we're stupider. We are.
I mean, 80% of America doesn't even have a high school education.
Yeah, we're for sure a stupider nation.
And so people are just throwing all this shit out there.
Stupider.
Oh, but yeah, it was. Man, we had a fun weekend camping. That was great.
Yeah,
I had a good time out there.
Perfect weather too.
Perfect weather. We got to watch the F1 race. In the middle of a forest.
That was the most amazing thing.
That it actually worked?
Yeah, like I kept thinking throughout the night, I was like, man, is he really going to do this? He's really going, because it was late. Like, it didn't start till what? 11? And we made camp, like, early. And so when you started working, I was like, he's really about to do this. Like, and then you started getting things projected, and I was like, I think this is really going to happen in the middle of our eclipse. What I don't know
weekend.
What that was. Eclipse weekend. We're about to watch F1, a good F1 race too.
The Japan Grand Prix.
Japan Grand Prix, out in the middle of Arkansas,
next to
under
the
stars.
Under the stars, next to a campfire, and
that was wild.
Jeremy's truck running off Jeremy's Wi-Fi that's built into his truck, and it fucking worked.
It was amazing.
It was awesome. That was fun. All of us sitting around just talking shit.
I want to watch every race like that now.
I want every race to be at night.
Yeah, every race needs to be on Saturday. Well, that was Saturday or Sunday. That was Saturday night. Yeah, into Sunday morning.
Into Sunday morning. What time is the Chinese race this week?
I don't know. How's the track doing?
They start, they start running tomorrow.
So did they?
And there's a sprint.
Is no one worried about it?
There's a sprint race.
The drivers are like, whatever.
Oh, I don't know what's gonna happen.
I'd be scared, especially Sands. He almost had a manhole put up his butt.
The race is at 2 a.m. on the 21st. The sprint race is at 10 a.m. on the 19th. Okay, so it's 10 a.m. The qualifying is at 2:30 a.m. for the sprint, and then the regular qualifying for the race is at 2 a.m. on the 20th. Well, how does that work at the place where they They go and watch the race live. You can't serve drinks anymore at 2 a.m.
I don't know. Maybe
That bar.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But since now I have night Dustin body, I'll probably just stay up and watch it. Be like, what's up?
Yeah.
Be up till 4 watching a race. One of the things we got into while we were out there, which cracked me up while we were camping, was 90s lyrics.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if this coincides with this or not, but my favorite podcast, that's not ours, 60 Songs That Explain the 90s, came to an end. And that's all I kept thinking about while we kept going through all these 90s songs.
Yeah.
And
It
now...
made you sad?
What, that it was over?
Yeah.
No. He did 120 episodes. 120 songs. I think it's actually 122 episodes total, but I think we should do a show. We do the greatest hits show thing every once in a while when we're on the road. But I think we should do a show where we spend an entire episode breaking down a song's lyrics. Because
deconstructing the lyrics.
Because we got stuck on Bush songs.
Yeah.
And Everything Zen was a big one.
Yeah.
How
they all are. They're all enigmas.
All the Bush songs?
All the songs of the 90s. It's like the only one that made sense was Pantera and Metallica.
The ones that were
and the ones,
in your face and told you,
right.
I'm going to punch you. And
like, I hate you.
I need 5 minutes alone with you and so I can beat the shit out of you, stuff like that.
But the alternative music, though, like the Dishwalla and the one we were listening to before the show.
The Seven Mary Three?
Seven Mary Three, man. Their lyrics, it was almost like a CSI.
Well, the Stone Temple Pilots, Wet My Bed.
We'll call it Jerry Jonestown Massacre CSI or SSI.
Criminal Song Investigation or Critical Song Investigation. There you are. It is CSI. Critical Song Investigation.
What does this mean?
But
yeah, just like you said too, like the Stone Temple Pilots.
Wet My Bed. You brought that one up.
Yeah, because I've always wondered, where did she swim away and who is she? Like, what
is this?
Was this
Why
person
did he
hanging
piss
out with
his
you?
bed? He wet myself,
And
wet my bed. I've
he
read
needed a
it all
cigarette.
for
And this
her.
is all from a cigarette. He needs a cigarette. Like,
is that because he says that 3 times?
Yeah, it's just there's so many questions. Unfortunately,
is she the cigarette?
I don't think we're going to be able to find out.
She's the cigarette. The cigarette is her, right? Did you check the bathroom? Did you check the bathtub? Maybe she swam away. Maybe he dropped her in the toilet while he was pissing.
Maybe that.
And
You
she
know what? You
swam
might have
down.
just figured it out.
Did you check the bathroom? Did you check the bathtub? She sleeps there sometimes. Water cleanses, washes dirt away.
I thought it
makes
was an
new-
advertisement for like a public
time you heard
service
it?
announcement.
Now, my idea
For washing yourself
was for torture. Like if we are in Guantanamo Bay or whatever, and we have hostages and we got to torture them, is you play that song.
Things have gone really bad in that world.
Yeah. If they've let us in charge.
Especially if they left us in charge, because we'd probably make friends with them, and then we'd get fooled and duped. We'd be
Please.
like,
Dear FBI, I know some of you listen to this show sometimes because of things we've gotten. If y'all need someone to make playlists
for us
to make playlists for you guys, for like when you have to go to some compound and raid it, or you gotta, you gotta
wanna get 'em
blast
out.
out some hostage negotiations not going well, and you
Send
need
'em
to
a bunch of
blast out
lit.
this bad guy. We want to make this playlist. Please.
oh, dude, what is the guitarist that's doing the note?
Done. Here, take them all. I give up.
That could
That
reduce
just
any
is-
kind of
yeah.
toxic environment, any kind of
Please,
situation, any
please,
kind of
please, let's make
emergency
that playlist.
situation.
So you got Stone Temple Pilots.
I'm gonna break up the.
Wet My Bed. And my idea was you take that and then you back it up to Message to Harry Man Back by Tool, and you just flip flop those for about an hour, going back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Americans, Yankee.
I've died.
You're gonna die out of cancer.
That's a wild story too. It's funny because I remember hearing something about that, what that was all about, but I didn't know that it had to do with some guy that had stayed with a bunch of the guys in Tool. Doesn't this sound like something we would totally have done back then too?
Oh,
to
it totally
one of our
would have.
buddies that we couldn't get out of someone's apartment or something.
And if I ever see your fucking face around in Europe or
I remember
Italy, well,
poor
I'm going to
Jesse.
kick your ass.
So remember Jesse was living in that apartment with his sweet Australian wife there for a while, just being
Did
a
you leave
happy
some
couple.
messages to Harry
Johnson
Manback
and
over
I
there?
left some messages a couple of nights, a few
Where are
nights.
you at, Jesse?
I think Matt Thomas might have even gotten some messages. Hey, is
Thomas in
Redstone or
the-
Thomas in the chat room? Because I'm pretty sure he got some messages too.
Did y'all set it to piano and
In the beaches.
do, 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 do.
I did not pay your tab last night. And
Hello,
you did not pay
Skipper
mine.
Redstone.
And now, I hope you die of cancer.
I hated you, Skipper Redstone. I don't want to see
Yeah.
your face anymore.
It
You
was
can
a
get out of
man
here.
for a good summer. That's all. The Johnson and I would get drunk on
PCP.
Jim Beam and Coors Light, where we couldn't hardly see straight, and we thought it'd be funny because people had answer machines and leave our friends crazy ass messages at 4 a.m. We thought that was a good time.
I would have loved it.
You probably were there a few times. There's a good chance that you probably contributed to some of it.
Fuck you, Matt Thomas. I'm coming to your house. You want to know something? I want your
That's
balls
the thing,
mashed.
dude. You're talking about the FBI. If the FBI
shit,
was like,
bastard.
"Hey, we need to talk to you about something," like, "Do you have anything on me?" And then all of a sudden they'd press play, and it'd be you and I just drunk saying something terrible. I'm like,
oh,
yeah, that's weird. That it sounds like what we were saying was we had this idea of a restaurant that you would.
That's the bad one. And that wasn't us. That was the co-writer in the car that
we-
kept that going.
Oh my gosh. Oh man.
And I'm no. Oh man, we have some episodes that I actually thought, like last week. Let's put up something that's never been like one of these weird old late night shows that I'll go in and edit it up
Yeah.
and we'll put it up there.
Oh shoot! I need to be looking at this, don't I?
There's no editing. Can't edit.
Oh
these
yeah.
shows.
Oh, you can't.
They're
The way they're stored.
they're that bad. No,
Oh.
they're
Just delete them then. Get them the fuck out.
We
We don't need that shit coming back on us. Now some hacker's gonna go. Oh, that's it.
I'm gonna go
I'm
find
gonna
them.
extort them for guitar strings.
You can't get it. They're air gapped. They're not on anything. They're air gapped.
Oh man,
So
fun times. Fun.
should I
times for
fly
sure.
to Los Angeles, find my asshole brother? Mickey Mouse has grown up a cow. Dave's on sale again.
Now,
We kissy kiss in the rear view. You're so bored. You're to blame.
why is he so mad at his brother? Number one,
Like, what did his brother do?
does he
And
explain it on the rest of
never.
the record?
Don't even know.
He just lets it go on that.
He just says it goes like that.
See, that's so unfortunate because that leads to so
don't
many
know.
other questions. We don't have any reference to the other stuff that he's asking.
Why is he pissed about Mickey Mouse?
Did he say something about a merry-go-round or something?
Mickey Mouse has grown up a
Mickey-
cow. Dave's on sale again. Who
Mickey
the fuck
Mouse
is Dave?
Grown up as a cow.
Who the fuck is Dave?
Oh well, I know Dave.
I know a couple Daves, but why is he on sale
Maybe
again? I don't get it.
It's in reference to Dave the Wendy's. Wendy's Dave.
Oh, selling his wife, his daughter, Wendy.
Yeah.
Mm.
So my wife. Is that what he says?
Try to see it once my way.
Try to see it once my way.
Hey, everything's
Everything's
in,
in,
everything's
everything's
in.
in.
I don't think so.
Oh, remember when they did the breakdown? They thought it was hardcore.
Hardcore.
Dun, 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 dun. We ought to find like a local band who has the most hardest core breakdown ever, and put the two like A B 'em. You guys think you are badass? Well, listen to this, and have
You do
the
that.
Bush one. And
That got the kids going.
then you have one played now, a breakdown from today, where they're just all.
Has anybody ever covered this that's heavy?
Um,
I'm going to have to look at the main theme.
Somebody surely has.
There's two main themes of this song that there's no sex in your violence is a big player. That's the refrain. And then the bridge is, I don't believe that Elvis is dead.
And he's very passionate about that.
Super passionate about those two spots. It's not a very, like, if everything is zen, it means everything's calm and relaxing, right?
I thought that meant that
You're-
you were
you're
on
chilled
a-
out.
Yeah, you were at high altitude and cruising.
Everything was zen. But obviously
But then he
not,
says, "I
'cause
don't think so."
there's no sex in your violence.
Dun, dun, dun,
Dun,
dun,
dun, dun, dun, dun, dun. Zen. Zen. Let's see if there's an Everything Zen cover
A metal band?
by a metal band. Let's see if this floats around.
There's gotta be.
You're listening to what would be like a JJTM CSI. What did I say? Critical Song Investigation?
Something like that.
Something like that, yeah. Browse Everything Zen. I don't think so. And songs, see all. Let's see. The Vitamin String Quartet did one. Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Rock Star. Those are the kids' ones. The Lounge Doctors. The Deep Sleep Scientist. None of these. Oh, here we go.
Find the most evil one.
Feed the Right Wolf.
There you go.
That's evil, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
This is it. Let's see here. Come on. It sounds like the original.
Out.
Sounds just like the original.
If I wanted to listen to Bush, I'd listen to Bush.
Yeah, go listen to the real thing. This ain't. I mean, come
Get
on.
him out. There's
Let-
got to be some death metal with witch.
You think this guy's a wannabe
demon
Brit?
witch vocals or gargle witch? Someone's got to have done it.
Look, it's the same guy.
It does sound like the same guy.
Find my asshole, brother.
I think his asshole brother's getting a raw deal.
Literally. No, there's no one's heavy's done this. So, what is Smothered in Bush?
Oh, sir.
Smothered in Bush, smothered and covered.
Is this Neil Young or is this Bush?
Keep on rocking, and it is rocking the free world, isn't it? There's a lady in the night. Is this a lady?
You know who that is?
Who's that?
That's the 3-second rule lady.
Oh, brother.
Oh, man.
Man. Porcelain? Porcelain's not heavy. I'm just glad everybody puts the guitar slide in there. You've got to, right?
Yeah, but it'd be way cooler if it was like
down
down in G, like I want a Whitechapel style.
Fuck Korn. Let's do Bush this year.
Dude, that'd be awesome. Except tune it way down.
Ooh, this one's evil. Listen.
Play it slow and doomy like this. Love it. Okay, this is the best one.
This is the best one. Listen how slow it is.
Ooh. I'm gonna beat Darren down next time we see him.
Can you do Bush? Everything's in
Dude,
for us.
I got
Dude.
something just as good
I got an
as
idea.
the. Yeah. Got this idea for you, man. You're gonna love this. A Bush album. Do you like the zombies? It's kind of
This is-
crossy.
This is kind of awesome. I may
It's kind of crossy.
be
Early
listening to this on the way
crosses.
home.
Think so.
Listen how slow that is.
Dude, we should do this some weekend. Let's just get together and we'll do a Bush like not shoegaze, but kind of like crossed like this. The whole album. Even must be your skin.
I'm sinking in.
If this is
Bush
for
is
real.
coming.
Huh?
Bush is coming. Like literally, they're coming to town.
Yeah.
Not what you were thinking.
Yeah, let's see if the guys are here. I think they're here.
Are they?
Yeah. Let me go get them.
You gonna go out and sing them some of this?
Hang on.
All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pause the show for a second, and when we come back, we'll have our guest.
That's not on the same album, though, is it?
Swallow.
That's on the same.
It's not. Whoa. All right. We'll be right back. Mickey Mouse. See, you guys in what is this? YouTube land get to see everything that happens behind the scenes. Don't forget, or don't something. I don't know. Let's see here. Will you crank these up? Trusty ones. Is anybody in the chat room? Everything went weird on my end. I can't see anything. There's just a dick laying on the floor. Come on.
Why not?
Come on in, guys. What up?
What's going on, man? Nick.
What's
happening? Yeah.
It's good to see you. Yeah.
Rowdy ended up having to hang out with his dad, so it's just us two.
Oh, that's cool. Come in, sit down, have a seat.
Cool.
Y'all can listen to some Bush with us.
Cool.
With pleasure.
I'm a fan. Hey, a little wizard.
All right, let's see if we're set
I don't know.
up here.
What's in that now? Is it still,
I hope it's still
Makers
whiskey.
Or
What
Weller?
Was that?
was it Weller?
It was Weller in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some.
Go for one. You want one? Yeah.
In fact, my drink is dead, dude.
Knocked over all sorts of shit.
Nah, don't worry about it.
Can of spray can or something.
We're running low.
Cool spot, guys.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We used to jam in here a long time ago, so it was kind of easy to. But then during COVID, that's when he did all this and did the like round table setup.
Cool. That Boba Fett helmet is dope. Imperial Stout.
Dude, he's got a Death Star in there.
Lego or Lego?
Or it's the
Star Destroyer.
Star Destroyer.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's destroyed. It got smashed.
What?
Let me go look. Let me go look.
When the dogs get it?
Moving.
What are you looking for?
See, there's a Youngling.
We probably got more out in the other fridge. And then there's whiskey, all our whiskeys and stuff over there.
Black Lager from Revolver over yonder. You want that, or do you want the Youngling? Either one's cool with me. There's a Youngling bottle in here. Okay, I like that too. If y'all had Tim Dillon in here,
Yeah.
that's fucking cool.
He,
I know he,
Brian, you know Brian Breckenridge?
yeah.
He,
I know Tim did the
He,
Fort Worth Hyenas a few times.
yeah,
dude.
that's what he
Like during the
he,
pandemic.
Yeah, he came in for the
Uh-huh.
And Dustin, they did something here, and then they went to Brendan's hotel room
Mm-hmm.
and did something there. I couldn't get off of work, so I was pissed. 'Cause I thought he was hilarious when he did that impression of what was the impression he did?
There's us with the foo, and then there's
McCain,
me. There's when I did
McCain's daughter. Was it that politician that the Republican that died from Arizona a few years ago, and his daughter was on
Oh.
McCain?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, John McCain's daughter.
Well, I forget what her name is.
He did an impression of her on The View.
Yeah.
And I think I saw it on Joe Rogan or something, and I was like, dude, that guy's hilarious. And then it was a month later is when Dustin had to run him all over town.
That's fucking awesome.
All right.
Yeah, he's a funny motherfucker.
So we got
He is.
Cool.
Younglings.
Cool.
Another year of the bunny.
these. You ever heard of this Red guys out of Cisco?
Mm-mm.
Went out to Cisco, grabbed these. They're right in downtown Cisco. We went out there for that November Fest. Happened out at Romney.
Out in the middle of nowhere, yeah. I played that a couple years ago with Ansley.
We went out there this last. Actually, no, I got these. I think a different time. Now that I say that, but we stopped there. The last 6 of these I had were sour.
They're gone bad. I like a good sour beer, like if they're made to be sour.
This one does not. It was like flat sour. Bad.
They've been sitting outside in the heat for too long.
That was one of them bad. No, the last batch I got from them. It's like a pecan flavored one, and they were just flat.
Sign above the air conditioner. It's good advice.
If only they'd listen. All right, so y'all should have headphones on.
I do a little shot of whiskey too.
You want some?
Got some Suntory over there. I haven't had Suntory forever.
It's empty.
Oh damn! All right, fine.
You want
Need a good bottle of that Japanese whiskey.
Yeah. Richard got that for us. Took a while to finish off.
Lucifer Post is badass.
Didn't they just play here like a couple days ago?
Yeah, at the
Yeah, Lucifer Primus and
Perfect Circle.
They
Yeah.
did like
Did-
song swap style. They were all on stage at the same time.
Did Max go?
Yeah.
Did you go?
No, I didn't. My student Max did.
I shot it. It was fantastic.
Oh, I saw some of the pictures you posted. Yeah, that looked rad.
All right. So what do we got? I got Mexican corn whiskey. Or we have some just the TX bourbon, straight bourbon.
Yes, it's cool.
And I think in Little Wizard is Weller.
Y'all both want one?
I'm okay.
I'll take a little one, yeah. Just a little shotsky. Teaching kids all day makes you make alcohol.
Yeah.
Every teacher I know are alcoholics also.
Yeah, it was cool because they started. A Perfect Circle came out, did 3 songs, and as they were, everything was fading down to their last song. And Primus's, everybody was sitting on stage.
Mm-hmm.
They had risers with couches and stuff on each end, so every band member was hanging out. And so as they died down, up came Primus, and they had 3 drum kits across the top.
Mm-hmm.
And
Josh Freese was with Perfect Circle, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
And that's the first time I've seen Josh in a little while.
That interview with him today is really cool. I listened to the whole thing.
Oh, you did?
That one with Rick Beato? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a little over an hour long. Yeah.
Need to go
Rick
check that
Beato
out.
one Today. That's the first thing I saw when I woke up today on my YouTube. I was like, oh, fuck, he got Freese on the show. Freese's background is nuts. You know, like his dad was a composer for the orchestra at Disneyland.
I'd heard that.
So he
Then he had
got his
Disney.
first drumming gig when he was like 12, playing at Disneyland, and he played at Disneyland like all through high school and stuff. That's cool. So that's where he got his initial chops from, was playing at Disneyland like 5 nights a week. And then yeah, like Rick asked him about all the fucking cool shit he's got to do, playing with Devo and playing with fucking Perfect Circle, and they talk about the Foo Fighters a lot, obviously.
They did a rundown. I don't know if it was on his page or on one of the other Music Zine Instagram things, but they did a quick reel of him running down every song he liked with every band he's played with, his favorite live songs.
That's cool. Yeah, they talk about that a little bit too. I didn't know this. Josh played on that fucking first Evanescence record.
Oh, really?
With the "Wake Me Up." That's Josh on drums on that. He said when he recorded the drums, there was no vocals on it yet, so he just cut the music with like the guitar player and whoever else.
He didn't know what it was.
He didn't know what it was gonna be.
Oh, that's cool.
And then when he heard it on the radio with like Amy Lee's vocals on it, he was like, "Oh shit, that's that song I recorded."
That's cool.
Weird. And he was like, her vocals made it way better. Because he said at the time when I cut it, it didn't really stand out to me as anything special or like it would be a hit or anything. It ended up being a huge fucking hit.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know he played on that. Very cool. Yeah, his resume is sick.
Got everybody up.
Yeah.
Come on, Matt.
Hey.
Yeah. We're in here.
Hey. Yeah.
Have his little boop. Shotsky.
Yeah, we can keep the door open. Well, dogs may come if she lets the dogs out.
Can I leave the AC on while you're recording or no?
We do.
You do?
Yeah. Not worried about it.
All right.
Little white noise never hurt. And it doesn't seem to translate that bad. When you come across.
Oh, there is a camera.
Oh.
Whoa.
Let's get this one.
All right, boys. Let's see here.
Oh, that one's so fucking purple.
You kind of outroed us out of that, so you just go dry in 3, 2, 1 if you want, or if you want to play another one of their tracks, part of it, we could do that too.
We'll just come back. We'll just come back.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
Bring it
And
back.
in 3, 2, 1, maybe.
You serious?
I'm serious.
You serious, Clark?
All right, and we're back, and we're no longer alone. So we gotta hide our love for Bush.
We love Bush too.
We
That's
love
fine.
Bush.
I saw them a couple years ago.
They're fixed to come back through town, from what I saw at the show we went to on Friday night.
Ever see him in the rain?
I did on MTV.
Yeah,
That's where I saw it.
that's when Gavin was
Spring
the
break.
sexiest, right?
Yep, spring break.
Doing glycerine in the rain.
rain. Listen, rain.
So dangerous with an electric guitar in the
Right.
rain,
He doesn't-
risking
he
his
doesn't give a-
life.
He doesn't give a
tough it
fuck.
So awesome.
This song's so real, I'm going to do it in the lightning for the ladies.
It fucking worked.
Oh,
Remember,
yeah.
Every girl was talking about that at
That's
school. the
when
next
that,
week.
that was when he was with Gwen, wasn't it? Weren't they still
I
a
don't know
thing,
if they,
or
I don't know
they
if they were
cooled
by
off?
then.
I think he did that to get her.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I think so. I
Crazy,
think you might be
man.
right.
He's like, I'm gonna play in the rain for Gwen.
That's what sealed it. She was
Then-
kind of there, but when she saw him do that in the rain on spring break,
Shirtless.
Glycerine, Glycerine.
Then he cheated on her 20 years later.
Is that what happened to them?
Yep.
I thought she met the country dude.
That was
And
after
he-
they split up, though.
Well, after.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
I think it was one of those banging the babysitter or banging the housekeeper situations.
Oh,
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's like, dude,
Right.
you're
Old
married to Gwen
chestnut.
Stefani. Come on, man.
no kidding.
What
you
are
gotta,
you doing?
You got to stay away from the nannies, man.
Yeah, Schwarzenegger did the same thing. It's like, dude.
Especially if you're big time. Stay away from the nannies.
Yeah. The,
Just-
the nannies are out there to ruin
Yeah.
you.
Just stick to the pool boys.
I have.
They're cool.
I worked with a guy at my day job. His night job was working for the security company that's out there at Starplex. I can't think of what they're called now.
Oh, I don't even. Yeah.
I can't think.
Dos Equis? Is
Yeah.
that what it is again?
I think that's what it is still.
But they,
Is
it's
it?
the big security company that's everywhere.
I know what you're talking about.
At
What's
all the
the-
Live Nation events and stuff. I can't remember what they're called, but he his duty one weekend was Gwen Stefani came to town and was part of some tour that was coming in. They came in a day early, so they went ahead and parked at Starplex and everything. And his duty was to watch over her and the kids.
Okay.
And had to find an inflatable swimming pool for them so the kids could swim there in the back of Starplex and everything.
Wow.
He's like, yeah, that's my job. And I was like, well, how did that happen? He's like, well, a previous tour, Gwen had come in through town and had done a signing, and he was security there. And it got a little crazy. People got a little crazy, and they started collapsing in on him as she was trying to leave. The crowd did, and he basically just grabbed her, bear hugged her, wrapped her, and carried her out to the car.
Wow.
Got her away from everybody. And ever since then, they've been like pen pals or whatever, and he keeps in touch, and she keeps in touch with him when she comes to town, and is like, I want you to be my VIP guard, you know, blah, 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 my VIP security and stuff.
So she remembered that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I was like, that's neat. I was like, but that's weird that you just sat around watching the kids as they're playing in an inflatable swimming pool or whatever.
He did get to bear hug Gwen Stefani, though. That's pretty sweet.
I wonder if he's the nanny.
That
Your buddy might be the nanny.
That banged
Yeah.
Gavin.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yikes.
But you did, man.
Maybe so.
I remember she was in the stockyards a couple of years ago, and it like TMZ like was posting shit from the stockyards because her and Blake Shelton came in town for some wedding of a friend of his. They were getting married somewhere in the stockyards, and I was like, pictures of Gwen and Blake, and I was like, what?
It's really weird when you see like big time people just rolling through Fort Worth.
It's happened to
stockyards.
Like Harrison Ford, that a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Just walking around Fairmount, like went to Avoca and got caught. He was like buying a helicopter.
Yeah, had something to do with
from
flying
Boeing
or something. Yeah.
Yeah. He was buying a plane or something.
He just ran into what's his name, John Hamm.
Yeah, I saw him.
Oh, I
at,
heard about John Hamm was in town. Yeah.
We were eating lunch at Bricks. And
Really?
He came rolling in there, and I'm sitting there waiting on my order, watching TV because Formula One's on, and it was qualifying, I think. So I'm sitting there watching it, and this guy comes and stands next to me, and he just me and him start shooting the shit about Formula One. And I never look over at him and we're just going back and forth. And finally, my food's ready, so I go up there and grab it from the guys, and I go and I sit down, and he goes and sits down at the, there's the long tables there. He's at the end of the table with his wife, and I look over and like, what? Huh? At his wife, not at him. Like she was gorgeous.
Sure.
And so we finish eating everything and go to leave, and it wasn't until they threw it on social media that was him that I was talking to.
Weird.
Like, he was in a hat, shades, just downplayed everything. He
Wonder
was
what he was
was
doing.
being cool and quiet. He wasn't being loud,
I
so his
think it's
voice didn't
that
stand out.
Taylor Sheridan, one
like-
of his movies or series is
Yeah.
about to come out. He's in
Some
it.
Yellowstone shit.
It's Yellowstone.
lawman,
It's
the judge,
landman.
the landman. That's
He
what
was
it
just
is.
in
It's
that
about the
latest
oil field.
He was in that latest season of Fargo, and he was fucking great in it.
Man,
I haven't watched that
I'm
yet.
on
Dude,
season
it is so
2
good.
still.
Season 2 is great, but I've been rewatching it recently. So like, I just finished season 3 with
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor's in season 3, and he plays twin brothers, so he plays 2 characters.
Really?
Yeah, it's really good.
All
I
right.
didn't realize how gnarly Billy Bob Thornton was in that first
Dude,
season.
yeah.
I guess I just
Vicious.
didn't pay attention to the radio or something because I remember people talking about him doing it, but I never got around to checking it out. But good gosh, he's creepy in that
Yeah.
first season.
Yeah, he crushed that.
I need to, because I'm in the middle of the second season. I started telling my lady that I was like, "You got to watch this Fargo. Like I've heard about it for a while now, and I'm finally getting into it. It's really good." So I was waiting on her to catch up to me, doing the nice couple watch thing,
Mm-hmm.
and so it got put on the back burner. And just like we've had too many things come out since then, especially the documentaries.
Yeah.
The all the conspiracy stuff that's come out lately. It's like, dude, I gotta stop watching. Like he was telling me about what was it?
Cold War.
No, not Cold War. The came out this weekend.
Fallout.
Fallout.
Yeah.
Have y'all watched that?
Not yet.
We were just
dude.
talking
Yeah.
about that in the car.
I played all the games.
Yeah, yeah.
Like New
and
Vegas is one of my favorite video games of all time.
Yeah.
And my wife, I just left to come here, and she'd started episode 1. I was like, dude, we're supposed to watch that together.
So you know what I'm talking
yeah,
about.
exactly.
But the thing is, I've been watching all this shit about the end of the world, and I'm like, man, I was like, and then I read some stuff about it, how it was more of just a
was it a
Well, I
Easter
never
egg
asked
type
you.
thing? I haven't started it.
Did
yet.
you ever play the game?
Yeah,
Any of them? Which one did you play?
I played the Fallout, the last one that came out, the Fallout 5. Is it
4?
Fallout 4, the one
In
that
Boston?
the HK album was wrote about.
That
Or was
one
that
was
the
about
third
New
one?
Vegas.
Oh, it was?
Mm-hmm.
I played the one after Vegas, and
The
I played a
4.
little bit of Vegas, but
So yeah, 4. And that's the one. Is that the one with like the cult?
yeah, there's like
the Institute.
Minutemen and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You got the Institute, the
Yeah.
Minutemen, and the Brotherhood
Yes.
of Arms. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I finished the series.
Uh-huh.
It's great. I loved it. I thought it was great.
I just heard
I
that
liked
everybody
everything
said
that's
it was
cool
more
about
just like a
him.
show and tell of the game. It wasn't like there wasn't much to it except just the. And I was
There's a lot to it, but there is
a good story.
It's got stupid humor and it's got weird dark humor.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Kind of throws nods at the game. Like
Yeah.
you know, it's 200 years past the end of the world, and they do flashback back and forth of before the bombs were dropped to after, but it's 200 years later, and it's just there's this weird stuff that they think is normal, but all of us are like, well, that's kind of creepy and dark. And,
Uh-huh.
you know,
Yeah.
it's great. I loved it. I thought it was really good.
I'm gonna watch it.
When it ended, there will be a season 2, and I don't want to give anything away, but now I'm super excited about season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's good, and I like Walter Goggins.
Uh-huh.
He's great. Loved him in Justified and everything else he's done with
He's in
McBride.
Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Righteous- yeah.
Killer.
Yeah,
He was
anything
in
he's done with
Tarantino stuff too.
Yeah.
He was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood for a
Mhm.
little bit, and I think he was in Hateful Eight also.
Yeah, he's in Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he in Django?
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
was
yeah.
for just
Oh,
a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit, right? Yeah.
He was for like a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love him because
Did you say Django?
Yeah, because that's funny.
It is funny.
I was trying to think. I think I have a song in one of the Fallout games.
Do you?
Or no, it's Far Cry.
Okay.
Far Cry 4.
Also great games.
The-
Far Cry 4 or 5. There's a Quaker City Nighthawk song in it.
I bet it's the cult one, the one that I was playing.
I've
Is
only
it up
seen
in
like
the-
footage of it. I never played the game, but I've seen like you walk up to some house and there's an old radio sitting in the window,
Yeah.
and when you get closer, it's our song that's playing on the radio.
I bet that's it. I bet it's
Huh.
the
That's-
cult one
that's pretty
that
dope.
I haven't finished yet. Because that's 5, right?
Because I've gone through it twice now.
I think
but
it's Far Cry
so
5.
Big. It's so
Yeah.
big. Yeah. Far Cry 5 is the.
It's up in the mountains and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some like abandoned
Yeah.
house and the radio's left on in the windowsill.
Yeah.
And when you get close to the house, you can hear
What's
our
the
song.
what was the band that had the song in that came in right when we started the podcast and it was like
in Borderlands.
it was
It was
Borderlands.
the intro song to the very first Borderlands.
There's a Borderlands movie coming out soon. I just saw the trailer for it.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was
Yeah.
New Magnetic North.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Went and saw the new Ghostbusters, and the Borderlands trailer came out right before it.
Really?
How
I didn't
was-
even know there was a trailer out for it.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, the new Ghostbusters was cool too.
Was it good?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked it.
Did you like the Resurrection?
I liked the what was the last one? Was that the
it?
one
Or
before?
Afterlife?
Afterlife,
Afterlife, yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I
that's
liked that one a lot.
I thought it was good too, with kids and everything.
Carrie
and the
Coon's
beginning.
great. Paul Rudd's the best. Like
Yeah.
all the kids are really good. And the same one is a lot of more little nostalgia pushing on this new one. That was like a lot of stuff that I caught. I was like, I remember.
Awesome.
Yeah, a lot of references to the old Saturday morning cartoon show and the original
Oh, that's
movies.
cool.
And Bill Murray and Ernie Hudson are in it.
Oh, that's
yeah, it was-
awesome.
yeah, it was cool.
Awesome.
I like that. I like it when the shows and the movies do that. Like
Little fan
show
service.
some yeah.
Yeah.
Give some homage to the old stuff. It's always nice. Really nice. Really, really nice.
They did some really cool like new stuff too. Like, I mean, it's not really spoilers, but so like like the ghost traps that
Yeah.
usually they would throw out and hit the switch. Now they have ghost traps that are on drones and shit, so
Yeah.
they can fly
That's
the ghost
awesome.
traps around and catch ghosts out of the sky. Like I was like, that's fucking cool.
Like some tech they've teched up.
Yeah, they've teched up a little bit. Yeah, and there was also a ghost trap that was on like a
Yeah.
like a remote control car, so they could drive it all around the ground. And then they had drone ones.
We
and
have
shit.
a dude
was cool.
that's actually his band's coming on. Did you say next week?
Yeah.
And he does a show about. He goes to these haunted places all over Texas and stuff. And
Oh,
he's
I
got
know
a
that.
store.
I've seen that
So-
guy.
yeah, he. Did you the money that you spend on the stuff to catch the,
The
ghosts
tools?
and stuff?
I
Man, you're
know.
like, dude, you're just
It's, like,
trying to hear a
super
little
high
noi-
tech.
Yeah,
Yeah, like the whatever they call them, So whatever the meters are.
Yeah,
that
there's all
read-
kinds of different ones, and they all start at like man, like a good guitar, like around $700 on up. What? Well, not good anymore, but like 15 years ago was a good deal.
Right.
Yeah, inflation. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, but it was I had no idea that people took it that serious to where I just thought that you just kind of made something, you found something out in the garage and kind of plugged it into an amp or something like.
That's what I thought it was.
It's like just an old metal detector.
Yeah.
No, but they have like whatever, not radiation like meters, but something similar that's supposed to be able to read some kind of
energies
in the air or whatever. Yeah.
I've
watched some of that Ghost Hunter shit. Yeah.
That's what it kind of reminds me of. What was the name of his show too? I feel bad.
I've seen some of his stuff. I know who you're talking about too.
I'm going blank right now because my mind's going a different direction.
Yeah.
But they just did a show at Pumpkin Nights, the ground that's at Pumpkin Nights. Y'all ever been out there?
Mm-mm.
It's in Arlington. They're on Lancaster, right where Fort Worth and Arlington meet.
Mm-hmm.
On Lancaster. There's a place in Halloween, they call it Pumpkin Nights, and an old mansion that sits on a hill, or farmhouse, big 2-story farmhouse, but they set it all up, decorate it all up. You kind of walk through it, and it's supposed to be spooky and all this crap.
Right.
But good for the kids, it's got both sides.
Sure.
But that house is haunted, and so's the barn. Like someone was killed in the barn, and someone was killed in the house, something like that. But they just did an episode up there, and they did an episode over here at the North Richland Hills Jail, which is now Platinum Rehearsal.
Uh-huh.
And it's going to be their season finale that comes out in 2 weeks. And that one's pretty... I've seen some of the stuff from it. It's over the top.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell over the top? Like, I'm not into all that crap.
Yeah.
I'm very skeptical when it comes to that crap. But I was like, whew, what did you guys find?
That's cool.
What is going on?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that.
Weird.
I wouldn't want to do that personally, but I like watching. There's a new Netflix thing that's just called Files Unexplained that just came out a couple weeks ago. It's very much like Unsolved Mysteries kind of thing. And each episode's like 35 minutes long. And then it's either about ghosts or aliens every episode.
I started the first one and had to stop.
The alien ones were really interesting because
Were they?
there's one of the alien ones was like in Florida, and it's all these like Florida like backwoods fucking people. So like, they're not making this up.
Yeah.
And then this one guy's like, I swear to God, I never believed in aliens, but I have no reason to make this up. And he was just like, he's very convincing. He's like 80 years old now or whatever. It happened back in the 70s, I think, when he had the encounter. But then there's one about a plantation house in somewhere in the South that's haunted, and there's like ghosts of the servants and slaves that used to live there, and it's really crazy.
Allie said it was the one that we watched with a few weeks ago. They just released some more stories, and she put it on the other night.
Oh, really?
The alien ones are wild.
The alien one that I think if it was this, I don't know if it was the same
That
one
was
as
Nat
the Mass.
Geo.
Oh, it was.
Is the one we saw.
There was also one on Netflix that we watched too, though. It was like that
Mhm.
went over Stephenville, right?
Yeah, I think the Nat Geo one was the one in Stephenville, and that's the one where like hundreds of people saw, the ships flying over Stephenville that
Right.
came.
And
they
like they
think
had
it
like
came from Comanche Peak and was flying like to the northwest or whatever, and all these people were outside. It was right at dusk, right when everybody's finishing up farming or firing up the smokers and cookers and stuff, getting
Bringing
food
in
ready
the
and
hunt.
everything. And they're
Whatever you do in Stephenville.
That's what they said they were doing. Like a bunch of guys were like driving their tractors in. We're like,
Oh my God!
What the fuck?
but it wasn't like 4 or 5 people saw it. It was
Hundreds,
hundreds of
Yeah.
that
people
called
saw
the
it.
cops and like made reports.
And then they saw F-16s chasing it.
right. The
See-
same thing happened in there's a good doc called A Moment of Contact. It's about the one that happened in I think it's Brazil. It happened in South America in like '96, and it's really wild.
Oh,
because,
yeah, I started that.
dude, it's so good.
Yeah.
Because
Is that-
there's people that were kids when it happened. The kids saw the aliens.
Is that the one we were talking
Yeah,
about?
There was a cop that caught one of the aliens and took it into a hospital, and then that
No,
cop
that's not
died
the
the
same
next
one.
day because the
Oh, no.
alien's skin secreted some kind of weird chemical.
Yeah.
And then the doctors couldn't figure out what chemical it was, and then they autopsied and tested it, and there's like some element that they didn't know what it was, and it's crazy.
What
And then
network was that on?
it was on?
Or
I think
would it stream?
it was on Crackle. I think.
Oh, Crackle.
which is like comes with your smart TV usually, and it's free. But
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
free
that's
one.
that's
Yeah.
where I watched it. But yeah, I watched it twice because like it made me feel weird
You
afterwards.
guys got to find the most haunted like building and do a Trent Reznor, do an album in it.
Yeah, well, didn't Trent did do that, right?
Yeah,
Did,
New
didn't he
Orleans.
make a?
Or he did it.
That was in a-
He made the
did it
Fragile
out-
home.
He did it out at the Manson murder house, right?
That was Downward Spiral.
Yeah. Then he also. I thought
The
place that
Fragile
he
was in the-
working
the New Orleans, like,
and that was
haunted.
haunted too, wasn't it?
That
Oh,
was
wasn't
just a funeral home.
So probably haunted.
Probably.
Yeah.
But it worked out perfect because everybody had their own individual studio because it was all sectioned off.
Yeah.
Right.
The different rooms were perfect for it. Now it's a weird retailer. Like I went by there last time we were in New Orleans, so that was 7 years ago, but went by there and it's just it's like a bunch of shops.
Yeah.
They gutted it and turned it into a bunch of
Oh,
shops.
weird.
Yeah.
Pretty strange, pretty strange.
Y'all can do it at Goatman's Bridge.
Yeah.
Let's cut it out there.
Get some audio
There's
equipment
nothing out there.
We
There's
actually
just
did
tourists
just
out there.
cut a bunch of new stuff at
That's good.
Nikki's studio.
Yeah.
We just did a mixing sesh
I
last
want to
weekend.
come out there.
Dude,
See y'all's
anytime.
studio, yeah.
It's cool, man.
Yeah. We're
Where's
out
it
this
I mean,
so
not the complete address, of course.
yeah, no, we're southeast Fort Worth, like right off of the southeast quadrant of the 820 bubble. We're on
Oh, yeah.
Lake Arlington, but it's still Fort Worth address.
Cool.
I keep telling Mark I want to come out there and chat with you guys about it.
Yeah, we're out there all weekend this weekend. Stop on by.
They've been
Yeah.
busy lately, man. Yeah,
That's
we,
awesome.
We
Yeah.
booked a mixing sesh for our stuff. What was that, Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did like a first mix on like the 5 ones we've been working on.
So when y'all are doing stuff, well, you know what? We never did even introduce you guys. We just started rolling, and then
Yeah.
freaking
We got thrown off by the
Susie
eclipse.
said it in the chat room who you guys were. But go ahead, introduce yourselves real quick.
I am Matt Mabe. I play drums in Arinda Light and also Gutter Sluts with Nick Tittle over here.
Yep. So that's my name.
Yep.
And the bands that I'm in as well. I also play drums for the Nancys.
Uh-huh.
And
I didn't know you were a Nancier.
yeah, I'm a
I
Nancyer.
still haven't seen a Nancy show.
Well, we've only had one, so
Oh,
yeah.
I thought there were 2.
no,
Okay.
no,
There's only the one show.
just the one show.
Okay.
Yeah, we made a whole album, but
I recorded
one
drums
show.
on one song on the
Oh, yeah.
Nancy's album.
yeah, you did. So
All right. So y'all got some new stuff. I want to ask you. So, like, since you have your own studio, how do you sit? Do you like sitting around recording your own stuff, or do you put the hands in? Do you like going somewhere else?
no, I mean, yeah. When it's funny, before we opened, and while we were going through this whole process of building out, and I never thought that I wouldn't be able to just record my stuff all the time, and it took over a year before I was able to actually, record any of our stuff. So, yeah, it's really nice to do that. I would like to do more of it, but I mean, it's a good problem to have, I suppose.
Yeah.
You
You're not one of those ones that are the stickler for. I need the separation. Like I need someone else, doing all this for us, and I can just sit
No.
back and
No.
Get out of my studio.
listen.
Maybe eventually, but yeah, so far it's been fine.
Yeah, it's nice because Mark and I, we're pretty
Yeah.
both hands on. So when we're working on Arinda stuff, he's kind of in charge of all the buttons, and vice versa. If he's ever doing anything, I can kind of be the man in the seat. But no, it's surprisingly smooth.
That's great. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
It's
cool.
a nice little secluded spot out there. So
Yeah.
and they got a little lounge area that's cool.
I tried looking for it one day, just cruising around over
Did you
there.
find a bunch of grills? Oh, I thought you meant like searching for it online.
No, I found a
Blackstone.
Yeah.
Susie and I were over there running around, and we ended up at the lake where there's a big park down there. It's not off your street; it's off of Berry.
Yeah,
And it was like
I think we ran into you that night at Cicada.
Yeah. We were
Yeah.
talking about. We're like, I think it was that day.
Uh-huh.
We were just over there driving around and went up where Berry Dead ends in the lake, and that was party zone. Like,
Uh-huh.
it was a very hood party, and
Were there ladies of the
Yeah.
night there? Is that what you're
There
saying?
might have been walking around. That scene is pretty wild during the day.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you always see something different. Every drive there and way. So which
Keeps
is
you on
fun.
your toes, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keeps you on your
Keeps
toes.
you on your toes.
Never know what you're gonna get.
Yep. Yeah, man.
Well, that's cool.
That's
You
what I'm
know,
talking about,
got
man.
your own place, staying busy.
Yeah.
That's rad.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Super duper thankful.
And y'all are staying busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just booked a couple things. I guess the next one is May 11th at Cicada with Royal Sons. They asked us to do. They're recording right now too. I saw today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
nice.
they're getting some new stuff ready.
And the Gray is opening.
Oh, the Grays on that gig?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's a
sweet.
stacked lineup.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a good night.
I didn't know they were on it. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
What night's that?
May 11th. I believe it's a Friday.
Sweet.
Yeah. It's a Saturday night.
Saturday. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So we got that one. Then we got another Cicada in June with Hotel Satellite. Yeah, Kevin Aldridge reached out and asked us to play on that one with them. I saw them there a month ago or so, and they were fucking great.
That's
And
a fun band. They're cool.
yeah, I like those guys.
I saw them a few times at Lola's before.
And then we just booked one yesterday also at the Owl, at the Boiled Owl, but that's not till July. July 31st with us and the Infamists.
Well, that'll be a fun, loud night.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
An earplug night.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ear protection.
It's nights like that, though. I don't envy carrying your gear in and out of there.
It's kind of a nightmare.
It is
Yeah.
a complete nightmare.
Not gonna lie, but it's I like playing the little non-venues like that though.
It
Yeah.
is. It's
Every time
great
I
'cause
played at
everybody's
Chat,
on top of you.
Yeah, every time
Uh-huh.
I
So
played
much fun.
playing
Like a house
Chat,
show.
Chat's always been like the best gigs. Yeah, it feels like you're playing in someone's living room.
Yeah.
What was it?
House show. That should be we should start a bar. It's a house show bar. Just like a house.
We were talking about that
Just,
the other
there's
night,
always
but
someone playing and you're just hanging out.
Well, we need to find an area like Austin did with Rainy Street, or
Yeah.
with
Mhm.
the far side of 6, the far east 6.
we just need someone with a cool house that we can play in because those used to be very like frequent.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I haven't played a house show in I don't like
What happened with the
10
Black
years?
House? The Black
I don't
House
think-
was cool.
The Black House was
House
cool.
was cool.
I went there to one of those parties there one time, and I was like, yeah, this is fucking great. I don't even know if it's a thing anymore. I haven't
don't-
heard anything
I
about
don't think
it.
it is.
Yeah, it might not be.
I think
The pandemic might have killed it.
the
Yeah, that's-
last thing I heard of anything happening was before COVID.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I went there because Leon Bridges was playing like acoustic at one of their events, and I forget who I went with, but it was packed and really fun.
yeah, yeah, that was.
I had to get out of there; it was so packed. I was like, okay, I've had enough of this.
I'm trying to remember who was there. It was a hip hop artist did a CD release there, and I can't remember who it was, but it was packed. And I was same thing. I was like, there's too many people here.
Yeah, I was there for like an hour, and then I was like,
It's starting to hurt.
Fire
This is
code.
cool, but I need to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to find a street where we just take over all the houses. It doesn't have to be a long street.
It's college.
Just a nice little medium,
College areas
small
have
street.
those type
you
of
know?
setups.
Yeah.
I remember that's how Fry Street Fair, like the
Which is
fraternity.
coming back.
Yeah, they
Oh,
brought
that's
back
not
Fry
right.
Street Fair this year.
That's weird.
I have questions about this.
Yeah,
Is it real? Is it?
it's real. I've seen the poster for it.
I've seen the poster for it too.
But
Is it going to be legit like the old days? What are we? What's
I would-
happening?
I would hope so. We played in Denton a couple months ago. Like was it December when we played in Denton?
Yeah, that sounds right.
But it was really cool to see. Just like it's still really vibrant. All the college kids were out. Like all the places were packed.
But that's the problem is where Fry Street used to happen is now nothing but
Right.
apartments. And
Mhm.
are they?
There's
Yeah.
a few bars and stuff. Like I think Texas or Cool Beans is still there. And then a few of those bars that have been there forever are still there. Maybe they'll turn those into venues for the festival, or probably have some outdoor stages in the square and stuff. Maybe.
Or is it going to be Fry Street Fair, all at Rubber Gloves?
It could be that.
I bet
That's
you
one
rubber,
thing-
rubber gloves will have something that goes along with it. I
Sure,
bet,
they
for
will.
sure.
The poster
That's the
didn't say
cool
anything
thing.
about the venues. It just listed all the bands that were on it.
Yeah, and
I was
that's
like, all right.
that's the other thing. Throws
Is
out.
your
Good
next,
good
is your
lineup,
next
though.
question is
Yeah.
ISD playing?
No ISD.
Oh, they're not playing? Dang.
There were some old schoolers on there though that
Yeah,
I was
I-
actually shocked. I was see these names. You're like, what?
Yeah,
RTB too.
Eric to do beef jerky.
No Centromatic, sadly.
Oh,
I thought that would have been sweet.
The RTB2, they emerge every once in a
Yeah,
while.
they play
It's like
a couple gigs a year.
come out from Iraq and disappear for a little bit.
Those guys play in like 10 projects each, so they do RTB2 shows whenever they can squeeze them in.
Let's see if the poster will come up.
Fry Street Fair.
It's actually, they have the site.
Yeah.
Wee Beasties, Cowboy Mouth, Slobberbone.
Oh, yeah.
Who was the name? The Plum Boys, the infamous. Who was the name that I was like? And more to come. This isn't all of them. There was more.
Yeah, the poster I saw had more than that.
I saw one today. I think it had both days divided up.
Yeah, I think I saw it on Instagram, but I don't know if it was their own Fry Street Fair page or what it was.
They should move it down towards Dan's, like industrial street fair.
That's kind of where when they did the 35 Denton Festival there for
Yeah.
a while. Like that was kind of during South by time.
Yeah, that's where I always thought if they did
That's
it
where we
again,
played.
if they tried to do something again that was like Fry Street Fair, then I would try to do it there.
But that 35 festival changed names
That-
like
that
every
city's
2
Yeah,
years.
that was a problem.
Yeah.
But we played like the underground once. They had a couple big outdoor stages that we played, and it was like Andy's and
We played
Yeah.
all those
Andy's.
places were part of it. Saw the Zombies play it one year. That was really
Yeah.
cool.
That's cool.
That was the year we got done playing, and I walked out as I was loading out of Andy's. You could hear the zombies right around the corner, and I was like, "That's pretty damn cool." But there's 2 zombies.
That's true.
I didn't know this until around that time.
Yeah.
Like you're not getting the real zombies; you're
Right.
getting the made-up touring zombies.
Yeah.
because there's a studio version that
Uh-huh.
stayed in Europe, right?
I think so.
It was a hologram version.
And then they had an American touring version.
A
that
lot of
was-
bands did that back in the day.
Yeah.
Apparently, I didn't know that, but yeah,
I didn't know that either.
yeah, they would just send up kind of guys that were kind of looked like them, and nobody knew the difference because there wasn't social media or
Yeah.
anything. There was shitty TV
Yeah.
and like posters, and that's the only way you knew what these guys looked like.
How cool would that be, though?
Yeah.
As a gig, it'd be cool.
Have multiple versions of Earn a Light,
You
just
just gotta-
touring the country, and you guys are just
Just
standing
learn this other band's music and go out as them. And
Until they're better than us.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Then they start writing their own stuff, and you're like, you're
All
on
the-
YouTube watching a video, and you're like, what song is this? This isn't one of our songs.
all these session guys are amazing.
Who knew?
Yeah.
That's
would-
like the drink tickets on Metalocalypse.
Yeah.
Like, when they don't know what to do with their when they go to their
Right.
own cover band. They're like, what is this? When they're playing in their own cover band, right? That's what they were doing, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
It's
their
like,
own
what are
cover
these
band.
drink tickets? I don't know.
I've never caught a Death Clock show, but I've
Oh.
heard they're incredible.
They're
Been
pretty
to a
good.
couple.
The last one was all right.
Yeah.
The first one we saw with Mastodon and High on Fire, that one was great.
That's a tight
Yeah.
lineup.
Yeah, that was a
And
real-
Converge was on that lineup too.
Yeah, we got there a little late
We
for that.
missed him.
I was kind of pissed off about that.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, that one was good. This last one with Baby Metal,
Not so much.
it was
Oh, Baby Metal, like the Japanese girls.
Yeah.
yeah, it was all right. It was just there was too much chaos.
Yeah,
It was
they
I-
they pack stadiums, man. Like
Well,
they do arenas.
you're at Southside Ballroom and they like oversold it by 1,000 people.
Oh,
so it's
yeah.
like crammed in there.
We're going to
and
see Idols there in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I think I put in to shoot that show because I
Fucking
want to see that
stoked.
show
Yeah, I saw them. They were the first show I saw when the pandemic lifted.
at Granada.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
that was the
cool.
most packed I'd ever seen Granada for sure. They was like, yeah, they oversold this
Yeah,
because I had to go up to the balcony about after the first 5 or 6 songs because it got too nuts. And when I got up to the balcony, I was like, oh, that ran into like 50 Fort Worth people up there, and everybody
just
was up
hanging
there.
out, yeah.
And I was like, okay, sweet. But yeah, it was a great show.
yeah. I want to see this one over there at Southside, and hopefully it's not that bad.
I
But
like shows over there. I think that
I like
love
that. I like that venue
man.
too.
It's
Yeah,
just I've always had a good time, and it's always good music when I go there. So
I saw Phoenix there. That was the last show I saw at Southside, and it was perfect.
I think that's the last So I went to that Pussifer show, the Sesenta,
Mm-hmm.
and Primus played, and I think the last time I saw Primus was there
with Mastodon,
with Mastodon, and man, I don't know, this show here, they I mean, the sound system was probably was more new and probably had more money put into it, but
And
it was
a little
it
bit
was,
bigger than what's
I just
inside
couldn't believe how
Southside.
good Primus had sound. Like every
Mhm.
time I heard Primus, it was like, okay, yeah. But man, the sound was dialed in on all those bands. Everybody sounded good the other night at Toyota.
Is weird because you
I
got
like that venue
That
too.
place always sounds so good.
We saw Queens of the Stone Age there. That was also in December, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a killer show.
I
And
didn't miss that
Spiritualized
show.
opened. That
Oh.
was really cool.
I was
Yeah.
supposed to shoot Queens of Stone Age and had a fucking
The sa-
cowboy game I had to shoot.
Yeah,
Don't
you
wanna
know,
talk
the
about
last
that.
5 times, I'd say the last
Don't
5
talk
or
about that.
10 shows we've gone there has been just everything's been awesome.
The Primus show that was this one we went to was cool. It was a Primus Greatest Hits show, so you didn't you didn't have a weird stuff in between or experimental stuff.
They
You knew
purposely did a greatest
everything.
hits show.
Well, it's each band had bricks of 3 songs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is the one y'all just saw.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So you know, Perfect Circle came out, and then Primus came out, and then Pussifer, then back to Primus, then back to Pussifer, back to Perfect Circle, and then
What a
they
weird idea.
Everybody came out to play Southbound, Pachyderm, and then rolled into. They all made an EP together, all 3 of those bands. So they played all 3 songs on the EP, and then they finished the show with Pussifer's Grand Canyon. It was
That's cool.
26 songs, something like that. But everything that Primus played was gold. You know,
Yeah,
you
it
were just
sounded
like, and it sounded
mixed
fantastic. And like,
good, just
I can't tell you the last
perfect.
time I heard Too Many Puppies live.
Right.
It
I
was
bet that
like-
place was.
It went nuts.
I thought
I
they played it
bet.
at the encore of one of the ones we saw at the ballroom. I thought one time they did Too Many Puppies, but they sounded. It was we also had really good seats. Our seats were right in front of the soundboard, pretty
Mhm.
much. So that was another
Nice.
thing too. I didn't think about. It's like we had.
Yeah,
they
because-
hooked us up with the sound quality.
On the next night, where was I?
Was it at Toyota, that show?
Yeah.
Oh,
at
I was
Toyota.
with Sosa on the next night
Oh,
at their show, and he's like,
Haltom
we were sitting
City?
on the lawn, and he goes, it didn't sound great out in the lawn. He's like, but I got up and I came down to where the soundboard
the
was, and it
pavilion and
sounded
stuff?
great. But he
Yeah.
said out there on the lawn, it did not sound as good
Cool.
as you and I are making it out to be.
It's
I've only
always
seen
cool when that
I don't know.
happens.
I've only seen one show there on the lawn, and it was STP and Bush. And it
Oh,
was
yeah?
I thought it sounded fine out there, but it was also like crazy packed.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
show was really packed. It was, I think, the Cult was on that bill too.
Yeah,
Wow.
The
I wanna-
Cult, Bush, and STP, and yeah, it was like 2017 or something. But it was good.
Yeah, that's a good venue. I haven't seen a show out there. I've gone out there and hung out a little bit, but I've never gone just stayed back where the common man stay.
I've
watched
never
the show.
I've never been out on the lawn.
Oh, ever? You haven't even walked up there? It's nice.
I haven't either.
I haven't.
It's
I
nice.
mean, I'm glad you and I are elitists.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we don't mix with
You
the
guys
common
must have had
people out there.
encyclopedias when you
I
grew
mean,
up.
that's
or
what
something.
Totally. And a vacuum.
That's the only show that they even had the lawn open for, was that SDP one.
Really?
Most of the other time they keep
That was
those
kinda
big- those
like-
big doors shut.
Right after they opened that venue,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I
it
remember
was-
that was like one of the bigger. I wanted to go to that show.
Yeah, I went with Tedder.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he had never seen STP, and I was like, well, yeah, let's fucking go.
I saw them there with Rival Sons a couple of years after
okay,
that.
yeah, that's right.
But they didn't have the. I don't think they had the lawn open for that.
And I think the only time
That one was in the summer when I saw
yeah.
them, so maybe that's why they kind of had a lot of.
We've been out there when it's been shut on a couple of shows.
What shows? Because I'm trying to think. Because the only ones I can think of are the 2 Nine Inch Nails shows. I know it was shut then.
The Queens one, it
The-
was shut.
Yeah.
Both times I've seen Queens of Stone Age there, it was closed.
Jose's in the chat room. He knows. We go out there and shoot a bunch of shows.
Yeah.
Which
They
ones
had
were
the
closed.
fans on too this time, which I was like, yes. Usually they have the fans there, but they never turn them on. I'm like, the other night, Friday night, they had them on. It's really nice, though.
saw her on the chat.
Very nice show. Y'all
I
can
like
play
it
on
out there.
those
Did
bills.
y'all hear?
Y'all need to start trying to. Hey man, we demand to be played. Take over the venue and be like, we're in the light here. Turn the house lights on.
Come on now.
You don't
you
know
need
us
some local sport.
now, but you will.
I mean, how are these local bands doing Dickies outside? You seen
Yeah,
yeah. It's like
It's like a
here
little
Fort
patio
Worth thing,
yeah.
right?
I think it's here at Fort Worth that
that? It
books
is
that,
though? Okay.
Yeah.
and it's usually just acoustic like
Uh-huh.
acts.
I've
and
seen a
stuff.
couple of rock bands out
Oh,
there.
really?
Avery Burke was out there ripping shit up with
Oh,
her
no shit.
band. So yeah,
I know Simone's done
One
it
of
a
the
few
shows.
times, but she's just been doing it solo acoustic.
I think it depends on the show, like who's there. is
Right,
what
they kind of
got
try to
in there.
match to the style of
Yeah.
who's. Well, yeah, that makes sense.
Because Electric Church was out there for one of the, like, Rob Zombie show or something like that. You know,
Mhm.
they were out there playing. So I had no idea who booked it. So if it's here Fort Worth,
I think that's
kinda
I
right.
think so.
cool. That's pretty cool. Did y'all hear about the new venue they're talking about building? It's another mid-level like Toyota.
Mm-mm.
They're gonna build it at 75 and 121 up in McKinney.
Okay.
Okay.
And like the people in McKinney don't want it to happen, but there's a big open.
There was
plot of land
Hanks
out
up there. Hanks was the main venue in McKinney, but I know Hanks closed recently.
Well, this is going to be big. Like they want it 10,000 plus,
Oh damn.
or at least right at 10,000. There was a big hearing about it at the city council, and a ton of people came out against it because they just didn't want it.
Mhm.
But I got a deal the other day about if you want to be a foundation member of this, you can. They're going to have fireside. They're going to have boxes with fireside pits, like
Okay.
fire pits in them or
Oh.
whatever, so you can sit next to the fire,
Like
and
little
enjoy the
reser-
show,
reserve
and have little
seats?
couches.
Do your
and
little
stuff.
Okay.
gram, do your little gram
Yeah.
and stuff, social influence and stuff.
Yeah, that's what
you
that
can
sounds
hang
like.
out, and
Yeah.
Sounds
you
like a
can-
Coachella move.
If you
Yeah.
become a foundation member, you get one of these boxes. It'll be yours for every event for however many years you sign up for, or whatever. And I was like,
Huh.
I'm tempted to email back and go, all right, I'm interested.
I'll
What
give
are we
you
looking
50
at?
bucks.
Let's see what are these fees?
Yeah.
Let's see how much this. Because I know at one time it was at Dos Equis, it was $50,000 a year for a box, but you get But you get
I
12
love rock and
tickets
roll,
to every
man.
show.
That's steep.
You get 12
Way more than I
tickets to every
make in
show.
a year.
I don't think you had to pay for anything because it was all catered to you.
It
Well, at least the
should be.
box I was in was catered to because
Yeah.
it was the Benny Keith box, and it was free. And then you got ice house passes and whatever, and you could
Mhm.
park around. You had a parking place on the backside,
That's cool.
like where all the buses park, and you could come in through the ice house and walk around. That's what we did. And but yeah, 50,000 a year for
Good
that.
God.
But that's, I mean, you're getting that's like Cowboy season tickets, you know.
Sure.
I guess.
But you
Must
get
be
every show.
nice.
How many shows come out to Dos Equis a year? A lot.
Yeah, a lot.
But how many times do you want to go out there in the heat, hang out?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
I did a lot when I was younger, but yeah,
Yeah.
now it'd have to
Yeah.
be someone really cool. That I'd
Back
have
when
to-
it was Coca-Cola Starplex.
Yeah, man. We went to Edge Fest every year. We went to every Freakers Ball, like all the
Yeah.
local radio things they would do every year. We never missed one.
Every Lollapalooza.
I saw Stone Temple
Yep.
Pilots there. Meat Puppets opened up.
Nice. I saw Incubus there when I was in high school. I saw Weezer and Dashboard Confessional there.
Like that was
So many good shows there.
I don't see
that
why.
and Bronco Bowl were my go-to.
That's what I was gonna
venues
say.
Yeah,
I don't
Bronco
see why
Bowl.
they don't bring back somewhere in the DFW location a place like the Bronco Bowl with a bowling alley and stuff, like the whole setup.
Bronco Bowl was great.
The place was awesome.
Yeah.
And why don't people play bowling alleys like
I saw-
they do out in?
Was
Well, they do it in LA. They have the rock and roll.
Sure.
What is it? The pumpkin bowling and rock and rollin' bowling. They're right
Mhm.
in the middle of Hollywood.
They have the stage like in the bowling
Yeah.
alley. Yeah.
Why can't we do that at the joint on Vickery?
That's a great
Yeah.
idea.
I like these ideas.
Well, they did that at Cowtown Bowling for a bit. They did shows
did.
there.
Yeah, they did.
And
yeah.
Triangle Bowl for a while.
I
'cause
played one of the
Uh-huh.
Cowtown ones.
I
It was
played
cool.
a
I
show
think I
in
played there,
high
too.
school at Triangle
That's
Bowl.
my favorite bowling alley in DFW.
Oh, yeah,
is,
dude.
Is Cowtown. Nothing like it.
Because it's stuck
they
in
still have
1983. Yeah.
Do they still allow smoking in there?
Last time I went, I think they had a section like you could do it at the bar still,
Okay.
but
But what does
parts of
that
the bar.
matter?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I don't know. They
Just do it in the
as
whole
long as-
building if you're going to do it at the bar.
Yeah.
Well, it was like the smoking sections in every restaurant back in the day. It was
Yeah,
like,
like
okay,
IHOP.
Yeah,
put them all over there.
Remember
Yeah.
Bennigan's?
It'll be fine.
all the
some
smoking at Bennigan's
fiberglass.
was
Yeah,
elevated
IHOP. Yeah.
and by the bar.
Yeah.
And everybody that didn't smoke was lower and
Yeah.
around the outside of the bar. And it
because
was
smoke
like,
rose.
what the
perfect.
fuck's the point of this? We're all
We went through a learning curve in the 80s and 90s,
Yeah.
man.
I remember my mom smoking in the grocery store when I was a kid.
Oh wow.
Like in the late 80s, 88, 89. Like
Tried
her
that
smoking
lately?
smoking a cig. Yeah. Probably get yelled at immediately.
When I first went to TCJC, some of the
the studio halls at South Campus still had an ashtray and stuff on the side of like the arm.
Mm-hmm.
Over on like the classroom seats.
Yeah. Yeah, you could smoke in the middle of class.
Wow, that's pretty sweet.
I saw an Instagram reel the other day that talked about why there are still ashtrays on airplanes, even modern airplanes that are
They haven't changed those out. Yeah, I noticed that.
brand new ones. They roll out and they still have ashtrays like in the bathroom and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is because when they rent them out for private flights, you can still smoke in them.
Oh.
Damn.
The rich people get to do anything.
Yeah. Then I was like, okay, that works.
So I guess there's a group of people that just rent planes.
You just rent a 737 or whatever.
Not private
I guess
jets.
so.
Just like, hey, I'm gonna call American Airlines. And be like, hey, I need 747 going out to.
I mean,
Led Zeppelin had a fucking fireplace on their plane. They fucking really did.
yeah,
They had,
was
they had a
that's weird.
working fireplace on their jet.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine if Led Zeppelin was around these days, the amount of obscene things they would spend their money on?
Oh, Jesus.
They'd
Yeah.
have so much crazy stuff. Be like, especially if he started hanging out with like Elon Musk.
I guess
Oh, no
technically,
shit.
back then, the most expensive thing they could have bought was a castle, which they did.
Yeah.
So,
Paige bought a
Yeah,
castle. Yeah,
Paige did.
And they bought that jet.
yeah,
They were like maybe the first band to have their own jet like that.
I think so.
Yeah.
yeah.
The Starship.
That's what's
It had no seat belts. It had no regular seats. It had couches
Mhm.
and like a pool table and like it was
Yeah.
like a bar.
Which makes
and
no sense.
A fireplace.
No sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
It looks amazing. I think it got destroyed. They should have kept it so you could do a tour of it.
Yeah.
It's just see, like
or just parked it behind the castle.
yeah, it's
behind
all
Paige's
shag
castle.
carpet.
Yeah.
And it's like here's where they banged all these girls.
Can you
There's
imagine being the flight
mirrors
attendant on
all over
that
the
and
place.
being like, I gotta secure everything for landing, and you gotta walk by the pool table and put all the balls.
Right. Make sure all the beer
everything's
bottles
put
aren't on the
away.
ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you have a little. You get the mirror and just
Different
little
times.
pouch.
I like listening to Adam Curry's stories of when they flew over to Moscow for the Monsters of Rock.
Is that the big
Oh,
Metallica
yeah.
one that was like $1 million plus?
Pantera.
And Ozzy
Oh yeah,
and all
Pantera
them.
played that too, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess there were two, but the one he talks about that he was on was like Ozzy and the Scorpions and all that
None of
were
them
all
were
on
sober.
it, and how it was just mass chaos.
It had to
And,
be, yeah.
Like there was coke everywhere, and
Isn't that where
everybody's just
Tommy Lee
partying
snorted the
and-
ants, or was
Ozzy
it
did
Ozzy
that.
snorted the ants,
I
and
thought that
Tommy
was
Lee was
here.
like, I thought that was
At a
on that
hotel
tour.
here.
I thought it was on the tour you're talking about.
I
They
thought
were like,
Ozzy did that in
"Whoa."
L.A. Yeah.
Snorting
yeah.
ants, man.
Ozzy also did pee on the Alamo.
He did
Yes,
pee
he
on the
did.
Alamo. And they forgave him for that.
You know,
or he
finally.
forgave him. He can go back to the Alamo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
now that he's
Thank
about to
God.
die.
Yeah.
He's not doing great from what I've read.
I saw him and his son a few years ago at NASCAR. They came out. I guess it was him and his son were starting
That travel show?
a travel show.
Mm-hmm.
So their stop was up here for the NASCAR race, and I was up there. I think it was the last one I shot for the Star Telegram, and it was bad.
Mm.
It was real bad, and that's been pre-pandemic.
And he had
But
a
seeing him
surgery
get
too. I
around and
think.
everything, and I was
I
just
think
like,
he had
how's this guy
didn't
still
he have an
alive?
experimental surgery or something too?
I think
though?
so. They started
Like,
doing
he
a
did something on
podcast.
him.
They do like a family
Neat.
podcast now, and the last little clip I saw, he looked good. He looked better, and then he was
Yeah.
talking well and everything. So it seemed like whatever he had done like has helped.
Maybe he's really a ghoul. Going back
Yeah.
to Fallout,
Uh-huh.
he can
Yeah.
just
Maybe he's really
live for
involved with
100
Satan.
years.
Maybe
Could
he
be
has.
too.
He's a prophetic. What do you call him? What do they call the dudes that hold prophecies? Prophet.
A prophet. Yeah,
A prophet of doom.
yeah, that's the word.
Prophet. I think I halfway said it
Uh-huh.
and then
But I-
pulled it back
yeah.
and then had to
His-
think about it to
His
finish
son
it.
Jack got like totally sober and everything, right? And
Yeah.
I think Kelly did too.
Well, and then
'Cause they both went
Kelly-
crazy when like their reality show got big, and then they all got fucked up.
Well, he's got a ghost hunting show now that I've watched a couple.
Oh, Jack
episodes
does?
of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
That's
it's pretty
cool.
silly.
I didn't know
'cause
that.
He did one with Jason Mewes,
Uh-huh.
and I watched that one, and then he did one with Jenny McCarthy,
Oh, weird.
where
okay.
they go out to these places, and it's one of those ones. It's pretty hokey
All right.
because they freak out anytime there's a sound, and it's like it's the middle of the night. You're in an empty barn. There's owls. There's rats. There's field
Who
mice.
knows?
If anybody's ever spent time out in the country, you know what lives in a barn.
Sure.
Yeah.
And how many of those animals are nocturnal and bang shit around as they're walking around? But they're like,
All of them?
Did you hear that? It was a knock. No, it was a fucking rat hitting something as it was trying to make its way out of there to go find something to eat. Come on. It's pretty silly. Theirs is
Yeah.
And then Kelly and Sharon, I guess, are Ozempic
Oh yeah.
promoters or whatever. They've jumped on that band train. And
I bet you they're getting a check.
It's working for some people, I suppose.
they haven't got that face, whatever it is, where you have paralyzation of the muscles in your face.
Oh, the
It looks like
Botox?
you just droop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like that Ozempic. It's supposed to. Like some people, it affects.
Mm-hmm.
It screws up your muscle, and you just.
You get like Bell's palsy from Ozempic.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
No, not at all.
Not cool.
The side
Not at
effects,
all.
man. Crazy.
You got to stay on it forever.
Yeah.
From my understanding, if you're not diabetic, well, if you're diabetic, you're going to be on it forever if you're taking it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're using it for weight loss, that's what I heard. You have to stay on it forever.
Well,
We'll see.
I'll tell you next week when I start.
I know. Have y'all seen pictures lately of Oprah? Like she didn't even look the same.
Oh no, is she crazy skinny now?
Yeah, she ditched Weight Watchers and went with the Ozempic
Would ya?
route. I'm sorry.
Or did Weight Watchers ditch her?
She's older than me, man. Oh, I don't
She-
know. Might have been that way.
I remember
because they
reading
found
that
out
like
about her
'cause she
taking
is,
that
she has
Ozempic.
been with them forever.
So at first, the news came out that they dumped her.
Uh-huh.
But then I don't know if they put the spin on it or whatever, but she sold her entire portion of Weight Watchers that she owned, her
Mhm.
shares or whatever. So that way she could come out and say that she's actually using another product
Mm.
to help her and it wouldn't affect Weight Watchers or whatever. And all
But
that
Weight
crap.
Watchers was just like meal plans and stuff. There was no medication.
I think
right?
I think now that this has happened, though, I've heard that they're looking into doing some kind of Ozempic living plan too, though. So I'm
Mhm.
sure everybody's going to jump.
Yeah,
on
not
this.
surprising. Yeah.
It's like it's an easy. It's not snake oil though. It really works apparently.
Everybody's
it's
been
like-
looking for the skinny pill
Yeah, it's-
forever.
Yeah.
But in the 90s, it was just like diet pills, and it was basically just meth.
Ephedrine.
Yeah.
Ephedrine.
It's like everybody was on meth in the 90s trying to get skinny. It worked, apparently. But
Yeah.
then you're also a
Slim
meth
Fast.
addict.
Mini Thins.
What was that? There was what was it that European movie about the druggies and one of the guys' mom was addicted to Fin.
Is it,
It was like
Trainspotting?
Trainspotting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Like one of the moms or something. Like
Yeah.
was
I haven't seen that in a long time, but yeah.
kept seeing commercials about it on her TV, and then finally bought it, and then she got addicted.
I'm going to be honest. I was very confused the first time I watched that movie.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Like, what the fuck is going on?
I was too. I was like 14 though. The first
Yeah, I
time
was
saw it.
super young when I watched
like,
it.
this is
It was
like, where's the
what's this?
trains?
What is going on? I thought this was all about
Yeah,
This
that
is
was,
a bullet train.
that was definitely a one and done movie for me.
Yeah,
And
the
I'm like,
the
okay,
toilet scene.
yeah, I'm okay.
It is definitely a movie. You're like, yeah, I've seen it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go back and check it out.
Uh-huh.
Like Requiem
Like
for a Dream.
exactly, that's what I was just
Yeah.
thinking. Like,
Two
yeah,
are the same.
I'll be
Yeah.
bummed out for a decade.
Maybe it was Requiem for a Dream that the
Yeah.
lady on
It's
Fin
like
Fin
that
was.
movie's not
These
for
nuts
me.
drive nuts.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
Too weird and
At
depressing.
least once a year, I got to see that scene.
Oh,
I got to pull it up on YouTube and be like, all right, let's.
see some real acting.
Ask
Right.
F.
Yeah.
That guy.
Jesus, yeah.
I got to pull that up once a year and be like, okay, yeah. Yeah, that
I
was.
still have feelings.
Yeah.
Right.
That was the chick that was in that Target movie.
Yeah.
What was that movie called? Opportunity Knock?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
what it was?
yeah. That's it.
So yeah, Susie brought this up, and we watched it on Sunday night. Sat down and watched Love Has Won, the Cult of the Mother God on Netflix. So Netflix has gone cult crazy.
Oh
I guess
yeah.
they
There's a
found,
lot.
there's two things you can find on
I've seen a
Netflix,
few
no
of those.
problems. It's murder docs or whatever, you
Yeah,
know,
love those two.
some type of killing doc, and then
Mhm.
cult docs.
Yep.
And
The
this
Wild,
one,
Wild Wild Country was the best.
Wild
That was pretty sick.
Wild Country is pretty good
hmm
till I saw this. This is the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life, and this is like modern, like just
Mhm.
a couple of years ago. This is a group in Colorado.
What's the doc called? Do you remember?
The Cult of the Mother God.
Okay, yeah, I haven't even
Love
seen
is
that.
I
one.
couldn't get through it, man. I turned it off. I was like, this is absurd. I don't think it's real.
There was a good one about Heaven's Gate that came on
The
Max
Heaven's
too.
Gate was good, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the conspiracy shows and the cult shows right now are big on Netflix.
Yeah.
The Cult
It's
of the
like-
Mother God, what was crazy was them feeding her, like, she got sick, and they're just, these people, the whole time, like, watch the first episode, there's 3 episodes. Watch the first episode, like, okay, this is cool, because this group is outside of Creston, Colorado, which is right outside of Great Sand Dunes National Park,
Okay.
if you know where that is. And
I don't, but continue.
it's a weird area. Like every time I drive through there, I'm always like, this is the weird shit happens here. Like people see UFOs and people make meth. That's what this area reminds me of. And then you go to the Great
gotcha.
Sand Dunes National Park and you feel like, okay, I can relax. I'm inside of a national park and everything's good. And, these are all cool people. And then when you leave, you're like, yeah, we're in meth land and UFO land. And sure enough, this group is in Creston. I've driven through Creston a few times and had no idea this was happening. But watching this documentary and seeing where they lived, I was like, yeah, this is exactly the type of land where shit like this would happen. But this lady just suddenly, she's from Dallas.
Okay.
And she was tripping on mushrooms they keep showing, at the beginning, they show Dallas. And she's tripping on mushrooms, walking along the Trinity and crap, and in like where Trinity Groves area was where all the photos were taken and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden she's just like, oh, it changed my life. And I realized I needed to go explore and buy crystals and stuff and go out this way. So then she makes a cult and finds all these people that are kind of like her. And she says she's Mother God and everybody should worship her. And what she says goes. So she starts having all these people taking care of her, and they're all young. And I just don't get
how are you that impressionable where you just believe.
Where are these people?
Yeah. Right?
Like these are people like I want them to be fans of our show or of our bands or whatever.
The Wild Wild Country thing. The Wild Wild Country thing made a little sense because he would just get like homeless people who had like no other place to go, and they'd be like, "Sure, I'll believe whatever the fuck you want. You're gonna give me somewhere to live and let me eat." Like, I get that, but like, just, I mean, I guess if they're on meth, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But, I was gonna ask, is there any correlation between meth use and the UFO sightings?
Well,
Probably.
There's not really any meth talk in this. Like it's more all about psychedelics.
Okay.
And the weird thing is like she builds out this whole thing of these spirits and ghosts that are guiding her, and like it's anybody from John Lennon to Freddie Mercury to the big one is Robin Williams. Robin Williams is her go-to. Is who she's communicating with.
Oh, I think Emily watched
This is
not too long ago.
This is not what I thought you were talking about. What was the one you just referred a couple of weeks ago that was like some space cult new flick that was on Netflix? That's what I thought you were talking about.
I've seen every.
There's too many of them now.
All the cults on Netflix are. I've pretty much dove into, but this one
I do remember hearing about the lady that said she could talk to Robin Williams.
So she's talking to Robin Williams, and it turns out this lady's a drunk.
Like he's not really Mork from Mork,
She likes psychedelics, and she's a drunk. And when she becomes drunk, she gets really angry. And when she's angry, drunk, all the people that are following her are like, well, that's Robin Williams coming through her and telling us what's going on. But
naturally,
duh.
Of course it is.
Yeah, why wouldn't that be the case?
Instead of just
makes sense.
Instead of being reasonable, going, this bitch is an angry drunk. They are like, this is the God, and this is Robin Williams talking to us.
Don't say he's
angry
drunk.
So you're going along, and all of a sudden it goes into alien talk. Like they're like, well, it's space aliens that are going to come down and take her body when she ascends. And so they're looking at all these like cumulus clouds that are building, and they're like, well, that's a spaceship. These are the spaceships. And this is
bananas.
All modern video, like they're taking with their cell phones and stuff. It's so bizarre. So she gets cancer. And I can't remember if she's diagnosed with it in the Netflix thing or if it's something I read afterwards, but she ends up getting cancer and getting sick. Well, they don't know what to do, and they are trying to
She's
figure
God,
out how
right?
to
God can't
how
get
to help
cancer.
her and help her get to the point of ascension. Well, I don't think she ever reveals that she has cancer.
Mm.
I think it came down afterwards when they did the autopsy. But they're giving her this colloidal silver, and it's that's okay for you in small doses, and like you take a pill whatever
Turns
once a
you
week
blue.
or
It
whatever.
turns you blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's taking like 7,000 milligrams a day.
She blue?
She turns fucking blue, and it lives like her last
Yeah.
few months as a Smurf.
Oh,
And they're hauling her body around because she can't walk, she can't get around
Oh.
because it starts killing her liver and shutting her organs down because she's had so much silver. But like they
That doesn't.
have
I didn't
all
know
these
that made you
pictures.
trip. I thought it was just something.
It doesn't make you trip. They're
So she
giving
was
it
just
to
taking it
her
for-
because they think it's aiding her, helping her.
Golly.
But it's
And-
obviously not.
And like I'm like,
She's
do
fucking
none
blue,
of these
man.
people, like she has this
That's
inner
not good.
circle that's taking care of her. And I'm like, do none of y'all see this? She's fucking blue.
Right.
And these people, they had a daily podcast that they would put up.
Sure.
They had a YouTube channel and all this other social media they were rolling out through. And come to find out, okay, she dies.
Whoa, no way.
Imagine that.
Shocker.
Shocker. They keep her body around for like 2 weeks.
Another shocker.
As you do. Yeah.
She dies in Oregon or California, and they bring her body back, and they like the beginning of the documentary is like the cops, it's body footage, cams coming in and
Wow.
finding the body laying on a bed, wrapped up in blankets and Christmas lights. They have made it
Whoa.
it's so bizarre.
Yeah.
But they're still going. They've changed their name.
The cult's still
And
going?
the cult is still
What's
going.
that?
Good,
There's another guy.
good,
The guy
good.
that hooks up with her, he is the father.
Sure.
And then there's another guy that's hooked up with her. No, of course, there's all sorts of orgy bullshit going on.
Every
crazy
cult
stuff.
has that.
Every
Yeah.
You can just write that off.
Oh,
You're in
they're
a cult.
horny.
You're gonna
Sure.
have an orgy.
Heaven's Gate
Everybody's
had
having sex.
that.
Mhm.
Multiple
David,
partners. all
David
this stuff.
Koresh did that. Yeah, they all do that.
So there's another father that's the multi-dimensional father or multiverse father,
Uh-huh.
but this one guy comes in and he's the true father. And yeah, it's really bizarre. It's good watching.
All right, yeah, I'll check that
To
out.
and the whole time I'm sitting there going, where are these people at? How the fuck? Like, who falls for this shit?
I think
How does this happen?
the thing that I've noticed with all those kind of cults or anything like that, it's like a bunch of just really lonely people, and they just want to be a part of something, and they don't have anything else.
So how do we all tap into these lonely people and get them to come to shows and come to listen to our
start a religion,
podcast
man.
and
Yeah.
stuff? Like,
You
where do
you-
we find these
You
people
got to
and be
cross
like,
it over
You
and
got
start a religion.
Yeah, you got to start a cult
Yeah.
and
and say,
say you're the
Okay.
savior, and then they'll follow you. Like even the Trump people, that's a cult too. It's just look at all the people that they're all really lonely, weird people. They're like, I can be in this. This is easy.
well,
Everybody's
lot
an
of
ad
them
over here, so I'm
are
going to be
people
with
that
these guys. That's what.
but
like-
they're all kind of weird, lonely, just
live out in the middle
people.
of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, we live.
And
It's also-
everyone wants that little sense of community. It's the same thing with 4chan and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. It's like they find that little weird community, then they feel like they have purpose.
Yeah,
and it's
the
just like, no,
organization-
you're all crazy.
They're good at picking out their victims. They know what they're looking for. They're looking for
How do we tap into this?
You just got to man.
You just got to find easy
Facebook
easy
stalk.
targets, man.
What you
Yeah.
got to do is start an account on Bumble or Hinge, and bam, you're pretty much there.
Uh-huh.
like
But prepare
we need to
yourself.
find these people to show up at arena light shows that are just your followers, and they're just like.
Well, they can
Oh,
stay at home. I'm okay with them not
course.
coming to our shows.
And I'm not talking about the right wing crazy Trumpers. I'm talking
want some
about like these
deadheads?
guys that are really
Just anyone that's crazy is like,
well. It's either that or we start paying homeless people to show up, and you can convert them to kind of like they did in
do the Wild Wild Country, yeah.
Wild Wild Country. That play, I don't know that it's a pretty good one. The other one was the Raul, the alien prophet, the one that made everybody get naked and
That's the
lay
one
out.
I didn't make it through. I was like, this is garbage.
But then that one's real. It
What's up,
happened
Nick Russo?
overseas.
I just saw Russo said, "What's up?" Hey, buddy.
What's up, Russo?
Is this one real? The one that's on Max?
Yeah.
This Love Has Won?
No, is that on Max or is
Or
it
the
on
Cult of Mother God?
It's on one of them. It's Cult of the Mother God. Now
But
the other thing,
it's a true story.
yeah, it's true. It's 100% real. The one I haven't started is the Nickelodeon bullshit.
Oh, dude, I watched that one. The Quiet
I saw
on
you
Set.
watched it.
Oh man, I
Dude.
bet that's dark.
It's kind of funny,
No,
Matt,
I
because
did
like
not
I don't
want to
wanna
watch
watch
it.
it.
It's
looking at our Facebook, you and I start watching things about the same time.
Uh-huh.
But I haven't started that one. I haven't started Fargo.
It's upsetting. That doc is upsetting.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
that's-
afraid of.
All the trailers and things that I've seen about it, I'm like, I don't know.
I saw a meme that was like
Put me in a bad mood,
there was
probably.
a meme of like Jordan Peele sweating, and it's like Disney execs waiting for Quiet on Set season 2 because this is just all about Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there was shit going down with the
Oh,
Disney
gosh,
shows too,
Oh, my
with
God.
Miley and with Olivia Rodrigo and all those girls that were on those Disney shows. Surely some fucked up shit happened.
What if they all
Yuck.
just start turning out like Britney, just batshit in Vegas, videoing themselves?
They all
with
seem to
knives
be
and
doing
stuff.
okay
Like,
so far. I mean, Miley
yeah,
went crazy there for a little bit, but not crazy in just where she was just smoking weed and doing
Yeah.
drugs all the time. But all of them seem to have come out okay.
yeah.
So
I
I'm
don't know.
hoping nothing
Was it
fucked
Christina
up like that happens to
Aguilera?
her.
Every single photo shoot I've seen of Miley lately is she's naked.
Well, she
Oh,
likes
well,
to be
yeah,
naked.
she's been
Half
doing that
naked,
for a
so-
bit,
So that's
but-
a little.
She's
she-
just sexually free, man.
Since
What
she
am
got
I actually
divorced,
allowed
she
to?
got divorced from the
Yeah.
Hemsworth, and she's
Yeah.
been fucking
Which Hemsworth was she with? The
the
Thor or the
one
other
that's not Thor. The other one,
Chris?
Liam or
Li-
Liam, yeah.
Yeah, Liam.
Then
And
she
then
got
you
divorced
got,
and just won a Grammy for that song she wrote about him.
I don't know. I saw a big long clip with Ariana Grande
Mm-hmm.
with that Quiet on the Set where they're like spraying her with super soakers and stuff. And
Oh,
it turns
yeah.
the winter- and I'm like,
Because that dude Dan Schneider,
how the fuck did that happen?
that dude Dan Schneider was a fucking creep, dude.
Yeah,
like,
that's
like
wild.
there's like subtle
Yeah.
blowjob jokes like all through these shows and like
Yeah, there was another one with the popsicle where she's like
yeah.
running around.
And I was
with
like,
the
what the
guys.
fuck is happening?
How did you not know?
Not nice. Not nice.
The only show out of all those that they really talked about, the only one I watched was All That. And he was like the main guy that started all that.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's why Amanda Bynes kind of went crazy because of him. And just like, dude. But he didn't technically do anything illegal. So I don't think he ever got arrested for anything. He did go to court, but I think
Oh, really?
I don't think
didn't
he
know he
got
went to
any
court.
kind of a jail sentence or anything. Because he was just creepy around these kids, especially Amanda Bynes. It was like they were like an item almost. It was really weird. And she was like 15 or whatever, and he was like 30.
Because she broke.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember her whole
Yeah.
Drake incident and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Like when she
lost
was
her
running
shit.
around naked in the middle of Hollywood and stuff, and everybody was.
Yeah, and she was so talented. She was such a big deal when I was
Yeah.
a kid. She was really funny
Yeah.
too.
I love the Amanda
They
show.
talk about
Yeah.
Double Dare. Is it on there?
What was it? What was the
The
movie?
documentary?
What a Girl Wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, What a
That was
Girl
a good movie too.
Uh-huh.
That was a decent movie,
She
right?
was doing good movies and stuff,
Yeah.
and that guy just like I mean I think he's the root of all of that, where she just kind of went nuts
And
and it never really found her way back.
Have we checked on her lately? Is she okay?
I know she has a
haven't seen
podcast now.
it. Does she really?
Mm-hmm.
Amanda Bynes?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody
Uh.
has a podcast now.
Yeah.
You
But she-
guys have a podcast, right?
No, we don't.
No,
No,
you don't.
no, we don't have time.
This is a
You
time
could do a.
sucker. let me
You
tell
know what? You guys.
Dead
could do one about
Vinyl has a
Nickelodeon.
podcast.
Y'all could do a podcast about Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
I know. I mean,
Didn't
that
know that.
I was raised on, especially the cartoons like Hey Arnold and Doug and Rugrats and all that stuff.
Doug.
Was anything
Uh-huh.
said about Double Dare and the suicide and all that?
Yeah,
Mark-
that's what I was wondering. If
Mark
he offed
Summers.
himself 'cause
Mark
of that.
Summers is in it. The host of Double Dare. He's in that Quiet on the Set documentary for 5 fucking seconds.
But
And-
he's not.
He didn't. Nothing bad happened with Double Dare.
Okay,
So
good.
he said
Just
afterwards, he was
OCD
like,
and-
"They just asked me to talk about Nickelodeon for a little bit. They didn't tell me what this documentary was really about." So he had nothing bad to say because he didn't experience any of it.
Good.
And I saw
Okay.
that Keenan Thompson, who was on all that, came out and said he's like, I didn't really know any of that kind of shit was going on.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'm glad people finally have the courage to speak out about it. But yeah, Keenan was like, nothing like that. He's like, I didn't know any of that was happening. No one told me about that.
Well, at least the sanctity of Double Dare is saved.
Yeah,
and
Double
that's all
Dare.
I care about.
Every kid wants
Thank God.
Double Dare and Guts.
Guts.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Oh, yes,
Dude.
Legends of the Hidden Temple. You
Wanted to
can't-
be on those shows so bad.
Yep.
But yeah, it's like about the sweet life of Zach and Cody
Uh-huh.
was fucked up, and then I forget what other show. There's one of those kids that did actually get
What was the
like raped by one of those producers, and it's really fucked up.
the other show
Yeah.
that was a big show that had God, what was it called? It had Topanga in it and all that.
Oh, Boy Meets World.
Oh,
Boy Meets
yeah.
World.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I started watching that again the other day.
Dude,
so,
that'd be fun to rewatch.
Yeah.
What's it on?
It's on Disney Plus.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
what one of the
I
guys
had a crush
on
on
the show,
Topanga like everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
everybody did.
Yeah. It's
But-
very heartwarming.
One of the guys went off and did porn, but now you've got one of the other girls on there that's not Topanga.
Bummer.
She's like a hardcore porn star now, and
One of the other girls on Boy Meets World.
yeah,
Damn, I didn't know
I
that.
can't think of her name right now.
Was
but
it the girl, the redheaded girl?
Yeah. Yeah, she.
Oh,
she
she
is
always
nuts.
gave that vibe anyway.
Well, I know wasn't the Ben Savage the main character? He was problematic for some reason. Like he got kind of canceled for being like
Yeah, he got touchy feely, right?
Touchy-feely
weird
or
and
something?
A little, what do they call it? Grooming.
yeah,
Oh,
He got a little
yeah,
grooming.
something like that.
Yeah.
A
Because-
little grooming.
He became a little groomy.
But the guy that played Sean, the guy
dude
that played
seems
Eric's
groomy.
older brother, and Topanga, they do a podcast now, like rewatching Boy Meets World. And I wonder why, like, the star of the show is not on this podcast. And it's like, oh, that's why. He had some problematic shit from, being weird.
I bet you there's more, like you said, Disney, and they're gonna
Dude.
There's gonna be a series on each big, huge conglomerate getting brought down.
Mhm.
Well,
So, man, I really
like-
wish that fucking wasn't the case. That's such a fucking bummer.
go Bayside.
Really it is. Yeah.
Yeah, what about Saved by the Bell? What about all those high school shows from
Well,
the 90s, too?
you did have a bad Saved by the Bell. You had Dustin Diamond.
Well,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah,
paint
The Dirty
mustaches
Sanchez.
on people's faces with the dirty,
Dirty
Sanchez.
Sanchez trick.
right.
And
yeah.
then
he died, too, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did.
R.I.P.
and
Screech.
Elizabeth Berkley
Screech.
with
Much
Showgirls,
love.
which
Pour some up.
It's a terrible movie, but it didn't
it's
really.
a cult classic now. Right?
Which one?
Dude, we watched it in film school.
It's so great.
We
Wait,
took
what?
Showgirls.
Showgirls.
Oh yeah.
That,
Oh.
that
It's
has Jesse
so
Spano in it.
Yeah.
terribly great.
We watched it in a class. I took a class in film school called Sex and Violence, and that was one of the movies we watched. Was
Yeah.
fucking Showgirls.
Well, and it's weird
We
because
watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then Showgirls was the second movie we watched.
like that movie came out and
It's
everybody was
laughably
like,
awful.
oh my god, and the radical Christians were like, well, you got to shut this movie down or whatever. And now it's a cult movie that people love.
It's
because it's just
it's
silly.
a good
It's
hate
just-
watch because
yeah.
it's so terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can just work while it's on. Be like,
Yeah, it's like this movie's weird.
yeah. I watch it all the way through though.
But it seems like the rest of those Saved by the Bell people like are good. They brought the show back, and most of them were on it, except Lisa Turtle. I don't know why she wasn't on it.
Yeah, where did Lisa go?
I don't know. I think she quit
Oh.
acting. I think she did soap operas for a long time, and then I
After
think,
that, right?
yeah,
She
then,
did,
then I
yeah.
think she just gave that whole life up. And
Yeah.
has just decided to be a normal person,
Then you have, of course, AC Slater being on
crushing it, doing Access Hollywood and all
Access
those
Hollywood, yeah.
hosting gigs.
He's
Yeah.
still doing that, right?
I think he is. I think he's still doing like or extra one of those Hollywood shows
Mark Paul had a decent show.
where he was a lawyer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and everybody loved that show.
yeah. It was a big hit.
and
We should do a
then
Disney podcast.
We just, Kelly
Disney and
Kapowski has
Nickelodeon,
always
man.
been the gold.
That
Dude,
wouldn't be
yeah, she's
creepy.
been great too.
90210, and then she's had a whole bunch of shows.
Yeah, she just turned 51 or something, and she looks like she's 30.
She's up there.
Yeah.
She's in my top 5.
Tiffany Amber Thiessen,
She's always been there.
one of the first crushes.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Shue was my first one that I can remember
Oh,
in
that's
the
pretty-
80s. That was my first real
From
crush.
Invisible Man or whatever it was. What was it
Adventures
called?
in Babysitting.
Adventures in Babysitting.
And she was in Back to the Future too.
That's right.
She was second Jennifer.
She was second Jennifer.
And she was on The Boys recently. Still looks great.
She did.
Oh
didn't she?
yeah,
that
that's
was
right. Yeah.
that was a wild.
Yeah, she was the freak.
God, I can't wait for the next season.
She was the freaky head of the company or whatever.
Yeah.
Have
where
you
she's-
watched
Gen V.
Gen V?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't seen Gen V
So-
yet.
it's great.
Yeah.
Oh, we haven't done a show since this happened,
Yeah.
but
The homeboy. Shit, I
What-
don't know his name.
I can't think of his name either. But he killed himself, right?
I thought it was a car crash.
Was it a car crash?
Oh yeah, someone I read that someone from the show died.
Yeah.
I didn't see. I don't remember why.
Maybe he did kill
Or
himself.
how.
I don't
But
know. It's a bummer.
Did he die in the show too? Like, are they gonna have a problem writing him in?
No, I
or-
don't think
he didn't die.
I
in the
don't
sh-
think he died.
I can't remember. I know
Well,
they were
I'm-
all
spoilers. I don't know.
I know they pretty much came down and captured them all. Or
Yeah.
You know. Anyway. Oh, Karate Kid, Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah, Karate Kid too, Russo. Good call.
Yep.
Watched Karate Kid 1,000 times when I was a kid, and then loved Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Cobra
And
Kai was great.
She showed up on Cobra Kai for an episode too.
Mhm.
Motorcycle crash.
It was a motorcycle crash. Okay.
Bummer. R.I.P.
Yeah, it's such a bummer.
I don't know, man. You get on a hit show and you're
Yeah.
making some money. You don't ride on motorcycles. You don't ride in helicopters.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, and you don't have affairs with the nannies.
Which
Yeah.
we
Right?
talked about.
Everyone,
Yes.
quit hooking up with the babysitter
Yeah.
or the nanny or the housekeeper.
It's a pathway to destruction for
It's
men.
destroyed so many
families.
So I got two things I wanted to, since we're in a room full of musicians here.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about this thing Russia's doing? You know, Russia's just gone batshit crazy. of
Sure,
course.
All
Russia.
right.
Yeah,
They
they're known for that.
They've started banning songs
Oh, I did hear about this.
that fit within a certain tempo range, or outside of a certain tempo
What?
range, we should say.
Songs that are too fast or too
Ban-
slow.
Too
Band
slow.
based off tempo.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
They do love
So-
the techno over there.
that's true.
Slower than 80 beats per minute or higher than 116. So they don't even get the sweet spot
Of 120?
or 134
That doesn't
or
make any
148.
sense.
You can't
Those
groove?
two sweet spots. So they don't get those sweet spots. 116 and 80. What it has to fall between there. Which
Is it just to piss off the public, where it's
Just
like
to keep everyone
there's so
down
many-
because
so
you
many-
can't
yeah.
groove?
There's so many great songs in those ranges that
Like
they
all
banned.
of them?
well,
Can
what's
they-
weird
can
is
they
like
use
You can't listen to the
432?
beat.
electronic is
Like-
insane over there. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I bet you're not
gigantic.
allowed to use 432.
You can't tune
432?
yourself to 432. Or,
Is it most of the Bee Gees stuff like 120?
think
I think
so.
Staying
Yeah, that's what we're
Alive
talking
and
about.
Jive
Yeah.
Talking are all like 120.
But with this law,
We would not let that
their
happen.
national anthem is slower than 80.
Oh,
Interesting.
damn.
So-
Backfired.
So here's what I predict: Putin's going to come out and just say that he's a musician and he's going to write a whole new national anthem.
And
That's
he's going to
appropriate.
drop it to 432.
Yeah,
instead
he'll
of
drop it,
440.
and then he'll sell 1 billion copies of it, and then he'll be a pop star too.
They'll do
He'll
two
speed
versions.
it up, but drop it.
Yeah,
to
he'll do two
432.
versions. He'll do like a slow doom sludge version.
What is the Russia
And then
national
a
anthem? Is it
a
is it
speed
just
one.
terrifying?
Probably.
Duh, 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 duh,
I
something
don't
like
think I've
that.
ever heard the Russia national
Well, let's
anthem.
see.
We
If
can hear a little
can
clip
find
of
I
it.
think it's.
Yeah, let's get bummed out real
I
quick.
think I either did it or I did Canada.
This is done by the Russian Guard Choir.
No,
Let's see.
Canada's. Oh, Canada. Dun, 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 dun,
Yep.
Oh yeah, I've heard this. It's like in
That's
every
what I was humming.
Bond movie.
Yeah.
Oh
So the-
right,
yeah, like-
it's in like a Call of Duty
I
games
nailed
too.
Yeah,
You can play it back. I called it.
yeah. I think it's even in the Pantera home movies when they land in Russia. They play this for a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah.
But Putin's version's going to be like slowed way down.
God,
I don't
that-
know.
The lyrics are going to be "Bow down to me."
I
Yeah,
thought that
that
was.
My Putin dong.
Can you imagine if like whoever's president, whichever side, just suddenly said all music in this country
Can't play
that
it
falls
4/4.
outside of this?
How do they police
Tempo
that?
range.
Yeah, do they
That's a
say
good question.
there's,
Like,
there's going to be lots of underground clubs playing shit in those
I guess
tempos?
they're going to bring back like
We want to
uh,
slow dance, motherfucker.
yeah, I
Yeah,
want
like-
a two-step.
burnt CD, like black market shit.
Yeah, there's going to be USB shits
Yeah.
with
Don't
all
tell
the
anybody,
songs.
but these songs are 60 BPM.
They can really only police.
Oh my! Oh no way!
They could really only police them, I guess, off of like public radio, but I guess and take them out of
Or-
record stores or whatever.
But public broadcast
Mm.
or public show, like if a band goes over there, if they're touring, they have
Oh,
a tour.
a
through
lot of
You can't
there?
band-
even play.
a lot of
like,
bands will get banned.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Makes no
it's insane.
sense.
That's
Seems illogical, Mr. Putin. Just call me crazy.
Like, let's just throw out a
Little
band. You know,
overkill.
let's just throw
Just a
out the
tad.
Cold War band, the Scorpions, go rolling over there, and they're like, "Well, all of our songs are over 116. What do we do?
Well, they won't let him. Putin wouldn't let him in because he's worried about the building his empire back, right?
Yeah, and they were, of course, a CIA band.
Right.
If
So
you go
he
down
would
that
like
path.
Scorpions cannot play here. I saw
They
what he
helped.
did to the East Germany
They helped in the
and
Cold
the West
War.
Germany. Yeah.
Whoa, that's wild.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The whole
about them?
concept is just
The-
crazy to think
the
about.
Scorpions. Yeah.
Wow. yeah, that's what I was talking about.
It's like I don't even really want to go down that rabbit trail.
That podcast is 10 episodes of chaos.
Yeah, I bet.
Of how that song
That Winds of Change.
was supposedly written by the CIA.
Oh, really?
given With
Yeah.
the Scorpions.
Crazy.
To help bring down
The Berlin
and-
Wall?
Yeah.
Right? Huh.
To help bring it into the Cold War and help chill out each side and make them relax.
Wow.
Like to the point
Conspiracy
where
stuff is so fun.
Didn't what's his face usually get offended because it's been brought up so much that you can't if you ask him a question.
Well, they
about,
go. The thing is, at the spoilers, the last episode,
in the
guy
Cold War?
that makes of the podcast episode with Scorpions
Mhm.
is the guy that's created it goes and sits down with him, and he what's his name, Klaus. Klaus is like, I've
Yeah,
never
Klaus.
heard of this. I've never seen this. And I'm like, it's on your fucking Wikipedia page. Do you not keep track of what this has been around for like 20 years?
Yeah.
That you guys were teamed up with the CIA to help bring down the wall in Germany.
Right.
And so like this, like even before the podcast, this was kind of floated around in the rock circles and everything.
Wow.
There'd been more than one
That
podcast that
song.
had done about this on the topic.
Yeah. And
Did
then-
you hear the
Got one
one?
here and
The
there.
one I heard recently was about how hip hop was invented as like a government way to fucking control people.
I've
That's
heard
a
that.
whole thing
No,
too.
I've-
That hip hop was invented by the U.S. government as a way to like whatever. I don't know something.
And something I heard about or read about or something was like the rise of hip hop also coincides with the dropping of crack.
Right.
Yeah. Through
Yeah.
LA and stuff.
I've read a bunch
South
about that
LA.
recently. And it's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think any of this is real, but it's fun to read about.
How about this is the other thing I had was the most searched heavy metal band shirts by state.
Oh, by state.
Oh.
Texas has to be Pantera, right?
You would think, and I was disappointed. I was like, it's got to be Pantera.
Is it? Let's see. Wait, who else would it
Metallica.
be? Is it Metallica?
No.
Tally. Is it
You
Def
probably-
Leppard?
It is
Slayer.
You're not going to get this. It's all. The
Is it-
thing
is
is,
it- is it-
a lot of these are modern, except for if you go to
Oh.
Illinois. Illinois loves Queensryche,
Okay.
and Connecticut loves Dream Theater.
so these are modern bands?
New York loves Testament, but
I would
yeah, most of them are
say
modern.
for Texas,
Arkansas is big into Motorhead.
Lamb of God.
Oh, that was a good guess.
I mean, it's more tech
More modern
than that.
Oh, more tech?
Yeah, which more tech and prog than that.
Oh,
We've seen
what's
this
that?
band a few times.
Are they from San Antonio?
They're not from San Antonio. They're not from here.
Oh.
We've seen this band a few times.
Mastodon.
No.
That's what I was going to say.
More
Gojira.
techie than that. More techie than that. That's a band that has to play every note in every song.
Between the Buried and Me?
That's it.
Yeah.
What? That's
Yeah.
the most.
Every note band.
Highest selling metal T-shirt in
The
Texas.
most searched heavy metal
I've
band.
never
most
seen
searched.
Between the Buried and Me.
Oh,
shirts.
most searched shirt.
Yeah. Any other states you'd like to know?
Interesting. Yeah. What about what's California?
System of a Down.
Yeah.
see that,
Makes
yeah.
Are they
sense.
California guys?
Yeah.
I think,
Well,
yeah.
they live out there,
Yeah.
and they're fixing to do a show out there with Deftones. It's a one-off show
Oh,
by the
tight.
Golden Gate Bridge.
He
or
was supposed to
whatever.
see them a couple years ago, and it got canceled because
Yeah.
Surge got
My
COVID.
student Max in the gray, we flew out to LA, got to the hotel, unpacked our bags and everything, got on Instagram, Surge has COVID. We're like,
And they canceled the show.
oh my God.
So wait, was it just them, or was there anybody else playing?
It was supposed to be a
Yeah.
couple bands, right?
Yeah, it was a couple bands, but I think they canceled the whole thing.
Cancel. Oh.
Because that was their first show back to the States in like over a decade.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be at the Forum, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That would have been really cool.
Yeah.
I saw them at
I felt so
Bronco
bad
Bowl.
for. I texted Nick. I was like, "Did you see this?" He's like, "Yes."
Yeah,
like,
That
such a
sucks.
bummer, dude.
Oh.
But I mean, we made the best of the trip. We had a great time, you know.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah, it was a bummer.
There's some weird stuff like New Mexico's Immortal, Colorado's Testament.
Testament.
Yeah,
In Colorado.
more weird.
What about New York?
Yeah. Oh, you said Dream Theaters, New York, or was that?
New York was also Testament,
Oh.
but Pennsylvania's Anthrax.
What about Florida? That's Pantera.
Florida, and let's see. Let me see if I can see all these. So Florida, is it Missouri and South Carolina?
Is Altera?
All share the same, and it's Opeth.
Okay.
Opeth.
Yeah.
And then
I guess Terror's too. Not wait, no, because you've said Testament.
But then you got Megadeth in Kansas.
Is Terror anywhere? on
None
there?
of the southern states have Pantera.
None
That's
of them.
crazy.
The southern states, if we go across the southern, you've got Louisiana's Lacuna Coil,
Interesting.
Mississippi Trivium, Alabama Motorhead.
Trivium's from Mississippi.
And then
I didn't know that.
Trivium is also in Georgia.
Or no, these aren't where they're from.
They're not
I'm
where they're
sorry.
from, which throws me off
Keep
because how many
all
bands are
screwed
out
up
of
now.
Georgia that we love?
Yeah.
And Trivium is the most searched in Georgia. If you go
Is
to
it-
Alaska,
Isn't Mastodon out of Georgia?
Mastodon, Baroness,
Yeah.
They're
They're in
is
what's
High on
the
Fire
other
from
place
there?
too? That
from New
REM's
Jersey.
from. There's a few metal
Athens?
bands from there
Athens.
too. From Athens.
B-52s are from there too.
Yep. I mean, then out in
Not metal, but
Alaska, you got Testament, but Hawaii sticks with Dream Theater. So weird.
Wow,
That
the
is
Dream
so
Theater
weird.
would
So
be big
most-
seller in Hawaii. That is so weird.
That music does not fit that
No.
environment in my head.
most searched band,
What
most
about?
searched
What'd you say?
metal shirts.
Queensryche was?
Queens Ritchie
Queens Richie.
is Illinois.
What about Michigan?
Michigan, and Ohio, like a moth to the flame.
Okay.
They share that with Arizona
Is Dillinger
and
any?
Nebraska.
Is
Oh, good
and
call
South
about Dillinger.
Dakota.
is Dillinger
No
anywhere?
Dillinger.
What?
Huh.
89 Inch Nails, do they count as metal?
Yeah, they're not in here.
They're not in there.
Now, if you go by, they have a quick
It's a weird list.
of cities.
I think
like
this
they
is
go
Russian
through.
Russian misinformation.
Yeah.
It's what's happening here.
It's one of those weird lists that threw me off. That's why I brought it up. Well, like we go through here by city, and the only Texas city they have is Plano.
Okay.
So we know in the '90s,
The
Plano
whitest city.
they had a problem with heroin. Oh, they have Lubbock too. I see.
What
two,
was their
so.
T-shirts?
They're two very white cities.
Dishwalla,
Yeah.
like we were talking about a while ago.
And Plano is Trivium.
Okay.
Not
In
Dishwalla.
Lubbock, it was After the Burial.
Huh.
In Madison, Wisconsin, Meshuggah.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
Meshuggah's tight.
I could see that.
Is Mushroom Head anywhere?
I don't see.
What about
I see
Slipknot?
Machine Head. I don't see any Slipknot. That
That's
throws me off.
weird,
There's
too.
No,
Man.
Slipknot's what, from Iowa?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
They're not even the top one in Iowa?
What about
What's-
Snot?
What is?
Yeah,
Snot on the
Yeah,
list.
what happened with Snot?
What is Iowa?
What's Iowa?
I'm just the state.
Yeah. What is theirs?
Iowa is Sabaton.
What?
Never even heard of them.
I don't even know who that is.
I don't either.
Could I have another beer, perhaps?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got
Hang
one,
on one
one of those
second.
younglings would be cool.
Yeah, I'd love one too.
Jersey's in Testament. New York's Dream Theater. New Orleans, Demu.
Who are these people?
Like-
Not the bands, the
That are-
people that are
voting on
mass.
this?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
doesn't make any
I don't know. It
sense.
doesn't make any sense.
Sure.
But I thought that was funny. Like I started going through this. Like, what? Come on.
Thank you.
Because I would,
Grazie.
for one, think Texas would either be Power Trip now,
Uh-huh.
Right.
Power Trip, or Pantera.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Still, like
Yeah. I don't make no sense.
between the buried and
Nick's especially a big Pantera guy.
I saw them in Florida in May. Last May.
we saw him with this Metallica show, and
Oh yeah.
here,
Oh, you already saw the one at Jerry World?
and it was
Damn.
great because that's the
It
first
was
time
good.
I've ever seen a stadium all seats filled for an opener.
Right. Yeah, more people were
And-
stoked for Pantera than.
The stadium went fucking nuts.
I bet.
It was awesome. 100,000 people plus.
That's wild.
Just singing
their
to
hometown.
everything and going nuts. It was good, even though, it's not the old Pantera, but it's
Yeah, they did great though,
man.
dude.
Yeah, I watched like people that filmed the whole gig from the audience. I watched it on
Yeah.
YouTube, and I was like, this is fucking great.
Yeah, definitely got emotional in Florida. Like,
I
I
bet.
can't believe that I'm
Yeah.
seeing this right now.
That's what we talked about on the show afterwards. How we were man crying.
Yeah,
It,
dude.
it was
I'm
weird
like, what the
because,
hell?
like, even did they show?
just an emotional
when did you go?
wreck.
It was May of last year. It was like on the same tour thing.
When they did the little off.
Yeah,
date
because
shows?
this was part of Rockville or whatever. It
Oh,
was like
okay.
Oh yeah, that big festival.
big
yeah.
festival in Florida, and
Deftones
yeah, so
played it
they
and-
they showed all like the behind the scenes, like
That's
the party
it, yeah.
shit, the party footage. It's so cool.
And that was cool here was they they did the party footage and the memorial footage, I guess you
Yeah.
say. And it was just like, fuck, yeah.
Yeah.
And it brought back so many memories seeing them younger all over the place.
I got to
and-
see Hell Yeah once at a Freakers Ball, like when I was in
I think I
high
saw
school.
Hell Yeah
So
once.
that's the only time I got to see them play. But I got to meet Vinny and Daryl at separate times when I was a teenager too. My dad played in same clubs they played in the 80s.
Yeah.
So my dad knew those guys when they were still like wearing spandex and
kid.
doing hair
Yeah.
metal. So one year at the Dallas Guitar Show, Daryl was there like signing autographs and stuff. So my dad's like, let's go say hi to Daryl. I'm like, okay, really? So we're in line. There's like a line of like 100 people, to get autographs. And then Daryl stands up at one time and goes, is that Mark Mabe? He's like, what are you doing in line, brother? Just come up here. And I was like, oh, shit.
He knows my dad.
Yeah. So we just skip the line and we go up there. He's like, oh, but you're Mark's son? He's like, you got kids, man? And it was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. And he was like, hey, brother, it's nice to meet you. I was like, I play drums, too. And he's like, my brother plays drums. I was like, I know who your brother is, bro. And then, so it was just like, cool. Yeah, he just gave me a hug. And I met Daryl. And then I met Vinny randomly at the Hooters on Collins in Arlington one night when me and my buddies
by
were.
his house.
Yeah, when me and my buddies were in there. And then I saw Vinny Paul walk in with like 5 friends. And they were sitting at a table in the back, just like sharing pictures of beer. So I was like, I'm going to go say hi to him real quick. So I was like, made look like I was walking to the bathroom. And then I was like, hey, Vinny. And he's like, yeah, brother, what's up, man? I was like 18. And I was like, hey, my dad, Mark Mabe, used to play venues with you guys. He's like, are you Mark's son? And I was like, I'm his second son, actually. And he's like, oh, damn, Mark Mabe's got kids. And he's like, your dad is a bad motherfucker, man. I was like, well, thanks. It was like, I just wanted to say hi. I was like, I met your brother before, and I'm a big fan of you, so it's nice to meet you. And he's like, you want a beer, man? And I was like, I'm 18. And he's like, I didn't ask you how old you are.
Do you want a beer?
He poured a little glass for me and gave me a beer. And I was like, that's as cool as shit. So both of those guys were really sweet when I got to meet them. And from most people I've heard tell stories about them, they've been like that to everybody.
I bought
They sound like Texas as fuck, like super sweet dudes.
that 4-string right there. The day I bought it was the day Vinny was at Guitar Center, giving everybody hell. Everybody hell. He
Mhm.
just walked to that store, just fucking with everybody for the fun of it.
Right,
it
just,
was in
yeah.
a good way. And it came over and fucked with me and Jared, and because you don't want to buy that Ibanez, you need to buy this Warwick, and just going back and forth. I was like, well, I'm just a poor kid that
Mhm.
I saved up my lawn mowing money to buy this piece of shit over here. And this is all I got.
Right?
You're like, I'm actually going to the pawn shop to just get, like, I'm
Yeah.
playing it up here, but I'm going to go
I'm gonna
buy
go-
it down
yeah.
here at this pawn shop.
But I got that, and then like they used to come up to Broncos all the time when we come up there, and it was just
Mid-Cities Broncos?
Mid-Cities
Oh,
Broncos,
man,
like,
good times.
in Hearst, and it was just one of those things. Like looking back on it and thinking about it, how much you just take it for granted because these guys were just running around with all of us. Like you would just be at like if they were still alive, I'm sure they would just come rolling a Cicada or something, or just rolling up to Lola's just to hang out or
Yeah.
whatever. It's
Sure.
just one of those things. Like that's just what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were super normal.
Just normal guys, and living here and them coming in, there were, of course, there's a group of people like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, but then
Right.
there's a group that's just like, these are just dudes like us, and they just want to, yeah.
I got to go to their strip club once. I went to the clubhouse once when I was like 19 or 20.
That was always fun times.
It was a pretty wild place.
But it's just weird looking back, like how. I was thinking about that the other day, and it was before we went on the camping trip. I was just like, I was listening to some old Pantera, and I was just like, how we all just took that for granted, like, because they would show up to y'all shows, they would show up to our shows, they would show up and just be hanging out. Like we'd play Lone Star Country Club, and you'd be sitting there, and there's Darian Hatcher and fucking Vinny right in front of you starting a pit, and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? Like,
I heard they did that in Deep Ellum a lot too.
Yeah.
Back in the day, like they would just pop in, they would just bar hop in Deep Ellum and just watch bands.
yeah, and it's just weird. Like now, everybody I think is too. I'm untouchable, you know. Like if anybody makes it to that level,
Right.
to where they're touring the world, and you know, for what 5 to 8 years, they were the biggest selling metal band in the world.
Yeah.
Period. They were
Mhm.
killing Metallica.
Uh-huh.
They were killing
shows were
anything
huge,
Ozzy
too.
was putting out, you know,
Mhm.
solo wise.
Yeah.
They were number one. They were huge. But
What
they
was
still
what was
just
the
came
bi-
back
what
and
was
were
the
hanging
biggest
around.
record? Was it the Great Southern Trendkill or was it Cowboys from Hell?
Far Beyond.
Mm.
Yeah,
I think Far Beyond
really,
went
yeah.
crazy. Vulgar Display launched it, but then when Far Beyond came out, that was just you're untouchable now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was
They had iPhone money. with That one.
they had Tesla money,
Yeah.
but they just it's just really really weird
Yeah.
that was just in our backyard, and there's a lot of people
And-
live around here.
And
just
my
like,
dad knew those guys, and
Yeah.
it was like, what? I always thought he was talking shit until we were at that guitar show and that happened, and I was like, Dad, I thought you were just making that up the whole time. And he's like, why would I make that up? I told you, like, I know Daryl. And I was like, he's like, I know their wives, like I know their parents. I was like, that's really cool. All right, Dad.
What was the night Vinny came up there, and I got a bunch of pictures of him because he was all posing and doing stuff and fucking with me. But
where?
Double Barrel Bastards,
Oh,
Was that the show
did
that
he show-
Hillman-
they show up? I can't remember. If
he showed up there, and then Hillman Jalapeno got up there and started going nuts.
I know that. Yeah, the dude from Hell Yeah got up there and started playing around.
They
and
started
then,
dicking around
Did you
and
know
doing stuff.
they're actually getting back together, or they're talking about getting back?
Hell
together.
yeah, it is.
Really?
Yeah, I saw an interview with Gray and the guitarist, and I think it was the guitarist, and they were talking about doing it again. They're doing something for it, like
Cool.
not just letting it
Weird.
go to waste. I think
Tell the story of the night you pissed off Chad Gray again. I love this story.
it was kind of the same thing as the twin, like you were talking about up at Hooters, except they were down at Twin Peaks it was when Hell Yeah just started, and
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of the cats from Pantera were there. They were already there, weren't they?
Yeah, they were all
But
there.
anyway, we were having a band meeting or something. Which
At Twin Peaks
at
in Euless, in Bedford.
As you do.
As you do. We had to have a
Mid
band
cities,
meeting.
Twin Peaks.
And
Nice.
it's
Yeah.
half empty.
Yeah.
Sure.
And they were
One side
watching
of the
I think we
bar,
went to watch a Stars game while we
Yeah.
were there, and then they went.
one
there
side of the
too.
bar is packed. The side of the bar we're on's
Not
empty.
really.
Kind of chill.
Yeah, chill by the bathrooms.
And someone
They
pops
keep
off their
playing.
mouth.
They keep playing over and over, like the same Mudvayne songs and the same Hell Yeah songs. And I was just like, "Fuck, dude, can they play something besides this Hell Yeah shit or something like that?" And it was right as Chad was walking past us, and he kind of, I guess, I don't know if he probably was just like idiot, or I didn't see what his look was because
No,
I was
he
kind of
gave
looking
you-
down like, "Oh shit."
When he walked by, that's right as you
When he
said
came
that.
back
It
out.
was one of those things like out of a
Like,
sitcom.
okay.
Like you're saying that, and I look over, I'm like, well, that's
As
Chad.
I have a
it's
similar
quiet
story
too,
I'll
it gets
tell after
quiet
this.
too.
Fuck.
It's like a quiet part of the game, or there's no music on for this little part or something, and it's
That's
like
between
me
songs.
yelling, "Why is anything Chad Gray ever plays or sings on is shit?"
It was something crazy.
That
And
wasn't
he
that
just
bad,
looked
but-
over at you and
Yeah,
gave you a
me a
dirty look.
glare.
And then you went to the bathroom and he was in there.
Yeah, and that was awkward.
Oh, God.
And I was like, I didn't know. And it was
a great
when
night.
we first started the
Yikes.
show, and I talked all kinds of shit about Hell Yeah too. Remember? And I was
Well,
like,
because
"There's
it
no
wasn't
way that he
Pantera.
listened to him." And I was like, "Well, I don't know, man. What if Johnson and him hung out and they talked about it? And maybe he does know who we are, and I just made us look like a bunch of assholes." So then I get all paranoid. I'm like, then we just end up getting drunk, didn't we? Like,
Well,
I think everything calmed down, didn't it?
It was like you said that, and I look over and there's Chad Gray walking by giving you a dirty look, and I'm like,
I was like,
like in my head, everything starts clicking.
Right.
And then I look across the bar, I'm like, well, there's the rest of the band.
Yeah.
Well, this makes sense.
Oh, and there's
and
Vinny.
we're all watching a Stars Road game that was
Yeah.
a playoff game or something, and everybody's over there partying, getting drunk, and I was just like,
Forgot Pantera did the Stars like
Wow.
theme song too.
fuck,
Oh yeah,
you just
Yeah.
did that to Chad Gray.
yeah, yeah.
So I have a similar embarrassing story, but it was Vaden from the Toadies.
Oh, well, that's easy.
And I was playing. I used to do Tuesdays at Lola's with Big Mike for years, and we were there kind of setting up on a Tuesday, and the Toadies song came over like the PA, and Big Mike was like, "I haven't really ever listened to the Toadies stuff. Is it good?" And I was like, "Yeah, the Rubberneck record is huge, and it's really good." And it's like back in the '90s, they got kind of pinned as like a Pixies ripoff, but we always thought they were cool as shit. And then I go out of the side room to go off the stage, and Vaden's sitting right there at the bar, and he goes, "Pixies ripoff, huh?" And I was like, "Oh my God, what are you doing here?
Why are you here?"
And he was like, "I'm just fucking with you. We were kind of a Pixies ripoff. It's okay."
Well, it was like,
but I was like, "Oh," it was like panic, like holy shit.
If you go back
That's
and look
funny.
at any of the
Did not know
Rolling
Vaden would be
Stone,
sitting there. Yeah,
the Rolling Stone articles or the Spin articles written about
them,
them or Rubberneck
always said that.
This is a Pixies band, and it didn't help that they covered "Where's My Mind."
the cover was had a girl bass player, like all the
Yeah.
thing. So, but he was just fucking with me. He was just like, Pixies ripoff, huh? I was like. I was like, started just flop sweating, like, oh my God. And he's always been really nice to me, but yeah, I felt so fucking terrible. I was like, I was like, no, I really love you guys, I swear. But he's like, no, we kind of were Pixies ripoffs.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And then they tried to break away with that with all the later albums. Like,
Yeah, there was some.
we're not going to do the Loud, Quiet, Loud.
There was some cool shit
yeah,
on
you
those too. They had some cool moments, like on the Hell Below, Stars Above.
Yeah,
that record was cool. And I liked some of the what was it?
Burden Brothers.
Burden Brothers. Stuff.
The Burden Brothers stuff was cool.
They
Yeah.
played our when I was going to TCU. They played our big welcome party at the beginning of the year.
Really?
Yeah, they would
Nice.
put a big stage up like in front of the student center, and they played that year. One year we had Better Than Ezra also.
Oh,
That's
let's
cool.
whip out some '90s stuff.
And
Here we go
Blue
again.
October one year.
Does Better Than Ezra have local ties?
I don't
Or
think
is
so.
Now I'm gonna.
That's
I'm-
random.
Whoever booked it just booked
Like-
those guys.
yeah.
They had one hit from what I remember.
I
Which
don't.
Wow.
Oh, that-
It's
yeah.
on-
It was
That's
good.
right.
Yeah, they had that one.
I'm not big on Blue October.
I never was either, to be honest.
Guilty.
But they I
I'm
knew a
not.
lot of my friends loved them, and they had a couple big radio hits, like at least locally.
So we saw them a couple of years ago at
The only one I knew about
Kaboo
was
Fest.
the
big
breakfast
Kaboom?
at Tiffany's. That's the only song that I knew
That's
that they
not
did.
Blue October.
That's Deep Blue something.
That's Deep Blue something.
Also, they're from Dallas, though.
I see what
are
you're
local.
doing. I see what you're doing there. But
Shout
yeah,
out to Toby Pipes from Deep Blue something.
and
I was
Todd
kidding,
and
Toby.
He's a good dude.
By the way,
Good
They
dude.
recorded the first record. My first record I was on was over there at Bass Propulsion
BPL?
Laboratory,
Yeah, I never got to record there.
the
but-
old one,
Yeah, the older OG one.
the
yeah.
OG one.
All the
yeah,
bands
pretty much.
back in the day, Flicker Stick, Calhoun, like everybody recorded at BPL.
We went over there and recorded. That was fun. That was interesting. That room was cool.
Taylor Tatch worked there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He produced or engineered there or something.
The funny thing was like the whole time they're looking up synths, and so we got into a big synth kick because I like playing around with synths and stuff, and so the whole time, like someone's in there tracking, we're all in there looking at catalogs of these crazy old synths and stuff, and trying to order them and get them,
Nice.
acquire them from weird places in the world.
Sure.
It was good times. But yeah, I'm not into Blue October. I don't.
Yeah,
I
that
saw them Kaboo.
never hit with me either.
I've seen them before that and didn't. It was one of those things like you go with a chick and you're like
Yeah.
she's into them. You're like, okay, cool. I'll
I
go.
saw them at one of the Edge Fests that I went to also, and it's like, yeah,
Oh yeah, I think
a lot of people are into them, but yeah, it just never connected with me for whatever reason.
never got it. And they're what, Houston?
I think they were Dallas also.
Were they Dallas?
I think so. I'm not positive, but I think they were.
They were here all the time
Yeah.
for a long time. Oh, yeah.
Anyhow,
I don't know. Whatever.
famous local bands.
Yep. Famous
Yeah.
local bands. Well, it's late.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's a school night. Mer.
Fair enough.
So y'all got, you already talked about the shows you got coming up.
Yeah.
You want to put them back out there?
May 11th at Cicada with Royal Sons and The Gray.
Mhm.
Then June 15th also at Cicada with Hotel Satellite.
Okay.
and July 31st at the Boiled Owl. And we just started mixing our new stuff, so we'll hope to get that out in the world sometime soon. Some of these we recorded like a year and a half ago, and we're just getting around to finishing them. And we recorded 2 new ones like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So we just started mixing all of those. So
What
hopefully
about the
maybe this
singles?
summer.
Y'all gonna throw the singles on there on the full release? You can let them sit alone.
I think we're gonna put them all out as just one.
We're talking doing like an EP, just
5-song
put all
EP.
5.
That's cool.
Maybe make a music video for 1 or 2 of them or
Yeah.
something. So we need to get a band meeting together to figure out what we actually
Twin
want to
Peaks?
do.
Yeah, Twin Peaks.
Yeah,
Hooters.
gotta-
Starscape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then any Gutter Slut shows coming up?
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about Gutter Sluts that much.
I don't know if we do have anything.
We don't have anything
booked.
booked right now. Our last one was Twilight Dallas, like a month ago,
Yeah.
and that was fun. But yeah, nothing on the books with that. But that's been really fun.
Might talk to y'all about that off mic.
Sure.
Yeah.
For our little Halloween get together that
Oh,
we'd like
okay.
to do.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, y'all show at Twilight Fort Worth, the first one.
We did the whole unplugged.
Man, that hit.
It went good.
That hit hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I had chills the whole
Yeah,
time.
I was mad I
That's
missed
awesome.
that.
That was one of
Everybody
the.
was talking about it. I was like, damn, I missed it. Because there was a bunch of video of it. that,
Yeah, my
you know, that
buddy,
night.
Yeah.
my buddy L Hicks
Fuck, I
shot the
missed it.
he shot the whole thing. It's on YouTube. So
Yeah.
That record and the live DVD and everything. The only thing I was sad you never fell off your stool.
I know. I was
You did
trying.
the full
I,
lane stay.
I thought about doing the whole
originally
flying.
originally he was gonna do the pink wig and do the whole thing. And I was
Uh-huh.
like, dude, do whatever you want to do. Like, if
Yeah.
you want to do that, fine. But we ended up just kind of.
Yeah, I went to like CVS and tried to find those dumb sport glasses.
yeah.
You know, I found
Yeah.
some, but I didn't have the courage to wear them because they look stupid.
Did
I
he
think
wear
that
big
was
I
the
thought about
point.
doing heroin before the show, just trying it out.
So you could actually lay down
Just-
in Superman and
Yeah.
fall off.
method acting.
Get in
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe next show.
That's a gig I've
Yeah.
been wanting to do forever. So
Yeah,
And then-
same.
It was so fucking good.
One of
And
the
it's
reasons
just on.
we
Just
settled on-
so
Yeah.
good.
one of the reasons we settled on Gutter Sluts too, where it's not like a direct Alice in Chains reference, is because we eventually want to do like other bands. So
Well-
we've talked about doing like a Soundgarden tribute one for a bit, and maybe like
In Gutter Slut's like deep music box, like wasn't that some weird demo of theirs or something?
I don't
Oh, I
think
don't
so.
know if
Nick-
it is.
that's a
It might
really
be a
weird.
subconscious thing that I picked up on.
We were just trying to think of a name to call the thing, and Nick just blurted out, "Let's just call it Gutter Sluts," and we just all laughed. And I was like, "That's it. Yeah, I like that."
Maybe it's something close to that, like that's on the what is it called? Music Bank or Music Box or whatever they put.
Oh
out. That's
yeah,
got a whole bunch
the
of shit on
vault
it.
or
Yeah, the
whatever.
vault.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's where I thought y'all got it from.
that'd be weird if it was like just
That
a
would be weird.
subconscious thing.
I might have read it years ago and just.
But
like,
he just said that, and we were like, "Yeah, we got to call it something." And we always had the intention of doing other bands too. So we've been building the Alice in Chains one now. So we got a pretty good set of Chains stuff, and then we
Even
wanna-
stuff outside of the unplugged.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah.
Good,
We
good.
the last couple of gigs we did like a full like electric gigs. So we've done like
Nice.
we've done like Grind, and we've done Again, and We Die Young.
I was gonna
and
say you getting
all
into
that kind of-
facelift because
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
We
sure.
try to hit
Yeah.
all the albums.
We want to throw some Mad Season stuff in there too.
That'd be cool.
Like at some point.
Well, then you can start dabbling over into Temple of the Dog.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then
We
you
want to
can go
eventually
over
maybe do
to-
Pearl Jam, maybe do like so the band name isn't just tied to Chains stuff. So
Yeah.
we can mix it up.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So Gutter Slut can do whatever.
And then eventually,
Yeah,
if we
that-
have enough songs, we could play one of those sweet mid cities bars where they pay the good money, and we can just do like
Oh, yeah.
first set is Chains, second set is Soundgarden, third set is like a hodgepodge of whatever.
That's a
grunge stuff.
$2,000 night, man.
Yeah, man.
Quarter gig.
That's where the good money is.
So
So
we'll-
the money's at.
By the end of this year, we'll see you over at Broncos.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Broncos,
One of
Big
those-
Shots,
Yeah, big shots.
Bedford Ice House.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Get them all going. That's awesome. That show was fantastic.
Yeah,
I
thanks,
was-
man. It was
Thank
it,
you.
it
I
was
blown
fun.
away.
It was fun
Everything
for us.
sounded. I was just like, this is weird.
Yeah.
As much as I've listened to this, because it's ingrained.
Uh-huh.
You know, that was
Yeah.
one of the Pearl Jam, Nirvana, and Alice in Chains Unplugged were like
Yeah, you're getting
just
judged.
totally ingrained.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, let's see how this goes. And I was like, fuck. This is
Yeah, we rehearsed a bunch for that first
Freaking
one,
awesome.
especially.
That's when I
So,
first heard about it. I was, they're gonna like. We're pretty judgy when it comes to that genre of music.
Oh, we are too,
And then,
especially.
and then I saw the video. I was like, "Fuck, they sound really good, man!" Like,
when we
could
found
make money with it.
when we talked to like Max and Jerry, who are the younger ones. Max is what 19,
Mhm.
and Jerry's 21, I think.
Yep.
But they're big
Right.
Alice in Chains dorks too. So it was just
Yeah.
like, all right, now we got. We knew me and Nick and Rowdy had listened to that record our whole lives pretty much, and then we found that they were into it and they were so good. So it was like we got some young blood, we got some old blood. We
Yeah.
all love this shit the same, and it would just with the first couple of rehearsals, we're like, oh, this is gonna be good.
Yeah.
Yes. I've been wanting to do that gig since I was in like 5th grade. So
Mhm.
it was finally to find people that could do it. And finding people that can sing it is the toughest part. So with Nick and Max Max does all the Jerry vocals, Nick does all the Blaine vocals, and they sing because he's been teaching Max for how long? How long did you teach him at School of Rock and shit?
Yeah, I think since he was 13, he's 19 now.
So 6
6
years.
Yeah.
So he learned from Nick, and so they sing really well together.
Yeah.
And
That I didn't know. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because it was the perfect blend of just like Jerry and Lane did. So
yeah.
Thank you.
That's the toughest part, I think, about pulling a band like that is getting those vocals right.
we went and saw Jerry last year when he came
Yeah.
through on the solo tour, and we're like, okay, it's cool. You know, he's doing some of his solo stuff, and then they started going to Alice in Chains stuff, and Greg from Dillinger came out
Oh,
Oh.
cool.
That's
and
cool.
sang all the Lane stuff.
Did he
Sounded
kill
good.
it?
Oh yeah.
Fucking
Sounded
bet.
nailed it, and
That's
I was
awesome.
not like we're
Yeah, it was
sitting-
out of nowhere. We're
I'm
like,
sitting
"What?
there
We-
shooting stuff, and he goes, "There's Greg," and I was like, "No, that's not Greg." And I'm just sitting there. I'm on Jerry, and I'm shooting some stuff. He like took my camera and goes, "That is Greg," because we're big Dillinger fans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dillinger
I saw
support.
Dillinger open for 9 Inch Nails once.
Yeah.
Dillinger was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
I saw a thing on Instagram today that I never knew happened. But after Lane died, they did some tribute shows, and there's it's just audio. There's no video of it. It's like a board mix. But Maynard fucking sang.
Oh.
Maynard sang Wood with like the Alice in Chains guys.
I've heard about that.
and it's fucking great.
Yeah.
I've heard about that.
Like his
Yeah.
voice sounds so good on that last like chorus.
Yeah.
I've heard about
It's
that.
like, whoa, this is fucking yeah. So that's out there. I don't know if that's the only song he did, but
I heard him do Man in the Box too.
oh really? Yeah. So like Maynard singing Lane stuff is like fucking perfect.
Greg was
Yeah, Greg was really good too.
Was on, and it was cool because there was some stuff like I was afraid of, like Man in the Box. You get
Mhm.
towards that end where you got to get high,
Yeah, that super.
and he hit it. But he's also kind of high pitchy,
Yeah.
even kind of whiny high pitchy with Dillinger.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it worked out. But then they started going into some deep sap and Jar of Fly stuff, and I was like, oh my god,
That's
like,
awesome.
this is
Super
awesome.
cool.
This is great because it went Jerry solo, and I guess Greg's on the new Jerry solo album.
Yeah, he is.
He does a few tracks.
Okay,
I don't
cool.
guess, I've heard it, but yeah, he's on there doing some stuff.
Yeah.
And then they did some Alice in Chains, then they did some old Jerry solo stuff,
Like
like
a
from
Boggy Depot. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then did a giant block to end the show out of Alice in
Yeah, it
Chains
was
stuff.
That's cool.
It was cool to hear Greg like reel in his voice, like how he has the wild sounds. In
Yeah.
a lot of his stuff, and then but like him paying attention to where he was at and like his pitch and everything, and making sure, because Greg's one of those singers that when he like if he hits a wrong note, he'll do this weird thing where he'll kind of bend it into note with a scream, and it was cool that he didn't have to do, like you could tell he was like, no, I'm gonna do each note that Lane Staley does in the key of the song that Jerry's playing and make it sounding really good. And it's like it came out really good. It sounded like Greg singing for Alice in Chains.
That's
And
awesome.
Except in perfect.
What's funny was we were driving over there. We're like, we're covering the show. I'm shooting, and he's gonna write the article. And we're just kind of like, man, this is gonna be a mess. We'll get to see
we were.
Jerry.
It was
It'll be
cold
fun.
and shit.
It was
It's been
cold.
raining
It was
and
a
stuff.
nasty day. It's
Yeah.
like, man, we had to go to
Like,
House
whoa.
of Blues. It's a pain in the ass
Yeah.
to park and all that. And then like we
Yeah.
walked out there like, holy fuck, we just saw
Yeah.
that.
That's
like I
cool.
wasn't
It was a good show,
expecting
too.
that, and it was like
Jerry was in
the
a good mood too. They were
second-
playing good too.
and
man.
all his
all
family's
good.
here because he has a ranch, just
Mhm.
outside
Right.
north of here. And so like his entire family was there, so he was going nuts for his family and calling them out and stuff. But we walked out there like, I can't believe we just saw it. And it was like the second or third stop, so nothing had really been written about Greg being there or who the backing band was. And probably half these people that write articles don't fucking know who Greg is. They just think
Right.
he's some, session player that shows up to sing on Jerry's stuff.
Yeah.
And we were just like, oh my God, that was cool.
Yeah.
That
That's
really,
awesome.
That was
really,
the
really
thing
fucking
about the
cool.
album too that I think was if you go back and listen to that album, you'll hear that, and I think I read an interview about how like Greg was just freaked out but it worked so well, like it was almost like Jerry knew the parts that he had wrote the parts for Greg almost like completely some of the new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And how like when he does it, it was how it kind of freaks him out. He's like, I'm sitting here working on Jerry Cantrell's song, and he's thinking about the vocals that I'm gonna sing on his song, and it works really well. Like he saw it before and heard it before I guess Greg did, and it just freaked him out that he's like, wow, I'm singing Jerry's song, and
If you-
Jerry's happy with it.
If you've never
It's
seen it,
So cool.
there's a
Yeah.
cool thing right around the same time that we discovered is Gibson did this whole series
Yeah,
about the different
YouTube,
guitar
wasn't it?
players that are sponsored or endorsed by them or whatever.
I saw the Jerry one.
Yeah, that's good.
That one's rad.
Yeah.
Really
That
cool.
one's
Talks
really,
about his
really
Dallas
cool.
ties and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Garland.
I
Going
did
back
watch
and forth,
that.
how he was
Yeah.
just like, I give up everything, flew up to Seattle, is like, just whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then winds up in Alice in Chains and
And
how they're kind of
friends
shit
with-
on. and
Friends with the
Uh-huh.
Wilson sisters from Heart.
Yeah.
Like him and Nancy
Yeah.
and Ann are close. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
a legend.
That one's awesome.
Jerry Cantrell's he's a rock and roll legend
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
by far.
Are Chains in the
He's a-
Hall of Fame yet?
I don't
Fuck, they should
think
be.
so.
They fucking
I
should
mean, they
be.
should be up.
Yeah, they should be.
Mhm.
I mean, their first release
It was in the 80s, I think, right?
Yeah, because they had a release before Facelift, right? They
Mhm.
had some small release. But
I think
then-
it's technically whenever your first actual LP was released.
So it'd be
Yeah, and that was
Facelift,
with
right?
with Queen of the Rodeo and all that on it, I think.
Yeah, that was their
Uh-huh.
beginning.
I think yeah.
That was like 88, 87,
Yeah, I think,
88.
yeah.
And
There's
then
still hair.
Yeah.
heavy
still
hair.
glam. Yeah.
And that's why they got kind of rode off in the Seattle scene. It was like, they're too hair. They're in that Queensryche era.
Yeah.
They're over there with them, not with us in the grunge. But then
Like, oh, okay, we know
Yeah.
how to adapt
Then
and
they-
fucking murder all of you.
Yeah.
then they rewrite the whole genre.
Yeah.
here's
Yeah.
dirt.
They're the face.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Yeah. They were the face of that whole
That was
movement.
Yeah.
Them
that was
and Nirvana
the-
and Soundgarden
yeah.
were the top three.
Yeah, wasn't that the band when it was Alice in Chains that when was it Warrant or something walked into their label and then they saw and there was this big Warrant thing or one of the
No,
one of the
Warrant
hair
walked
bands
in. Warrant.
and
The
saw
story
Alice
is
in Chains and
the
was
d-
like we knew it was over.
they walked
It's
into
like-
the record label
Yeah.
and saw that above the main reception area was
Wasn't
the cover
Warrant
of
anymore.
Dirt,
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
and
They're
they're like, "We're done.
yeah.
This is it.
Damn.
It's
the end
it's
of it.
over.
Yeah.
I remember when my dad really liked Lane's voice, and my dad really liked Kurt's voice, and he said these guys are in Cornell, obviously. So
Yeah.
when my boomer dad, who is a very much a Steven Tyler, Robert Plant, AC/DC kind of guy, is kind of getting into the music that we liked, I was like, okay, this is actually good. If my stingy dad
Yeah.
is like, who is this? What is this? And I remember he loving all those bands too.
What's funny is my mom was the same way. She's a Who groupie,
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
and she ran around with the Who and stuff.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
there's a joke that I'm Pete Townsend's son. That's just an inside family joke. But
They
Uh-huh.
should be rich, man. Hit them up.
but yeah, she was a big Who fan. My biological dad was huge into Rolling Stones, but she loved Fleetwood Mac and the Who.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was growing up and that whole blew up, all of Seattle blew up. Same thing. She's like, man, I really like these bands. They sound good. She loved Bon Jovi too,
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
she
she
did.
loved.
my dad did too. My dad liked a lot of that hair metal shit too, for
But
sure.
when like Nirvana, Pearl
Scorpions,
Jam,
Dokken.
Soundgarden, Alice Chains, she was like, I
think-
dig these bands.
I think
They're
the
really
boomers
good."
the boomers love that Cantrell's like he's got those bluesy licks, but then he'll throw in that Egyptian sound in the
Mhm.
note.
Right. Yeah, he did
And
that a lot.
Yeah, and it
Soundgarden had
just
that too.
grabs. Yeah, Soundgarden did
Kim
it too.
Thale did
yeah.
that kind of thing a lot too.
Yeah,
But that's the
that's the
thing.
thing. That's what
Yeah.
grabs the boomers is they hear the bluesy
Middle Eastern
stuff,
thing.
but then they'll hear that harmonic. Oh, and then they hear Lane's vocals, and it's like
This guy can really fucking sing, man. Yeah.
But you
You
got
can't
these.
deny it.
They grew up in the age of of
Yeah.
Sabbath and Zeppelin and all that, and you've got more bands that were following that
Yeah.
sound
Badass
and that
licks.
pattern.
Mm-hmm.
It was a cool time for sure.
Now let's
Y'all.
bring it back again. Let's do
That's
round
what- y'all
3.
need to-
Let's go.
Y'all need to book a
Let's
show
do
next week, just because now I want to hear a bunch of Alice in Chains.
Yeah, man.
Let's do the gutter slut.
Let's just play in here. We'll just do
Yeah,
a show for
Just
you
bring
guys.
it on. Let's do it.
Hey, next time we will. Y'all can do a.
We'll,
do
fun.
one of that.
we'll shove this table outside, disconnect everything. We'll just set up some mics.
We can bring some guitars and bongos and just do a couple.
You think I'm joking?
No, but I'm serious.
We'll bump next week and do it.
you just gave him a hard on.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Yeah.
No, we could do. We could
Don't
do,
get close to him when you leave.
Put some
We can-
candles in here.
We'll do
and
No
stuff.
Excuses and Brother and a couple that we could do
That'd be
like
cool
real
as
chill
shit.
version.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, we'll talk about that for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's been fun, guys.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys came over and hung
Yeah,
out. and-
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we'll get you guys back in probably.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a run down
Soon.
to your studio one of these days. I'm gonna come down there and see it. I want to see it.
Yeah, let me know
Check
anytime.
out Blackstone Studio.
Don't let him around there. Start twisting knobs and stuff.
Flipping switches, and you never know what's gonna happen.
You ever seen these tube screamers, man? You hook this up right here in this channel.
Sounds just like Steve Ray Vaughan, man.
What were you yelling about Billy Howell the other day?
Oh yeah, the metal
the
zone.
fucking metal zone.
Oh,
His
yeah.
tone is
His
nothing but
tone-
metal
dude,
zone.
That's all it reminds me of.
The
is
Boss
a
Metal
fucking
Zone?
Metal
Yeah.
zone, man.
I thought it was a Line 6 pod.
It
I
probably
swear
was,
that's what
but
it's
it
got. He
reminded
probably
me
had
of the metal zone sound.
straight up Line 6 pod.
It's like he's rocking a metal zone.
All right. Well, appreciate you guys coming in.
Yeah, man.
And,
Thank y'all.
We'll get you guys back in here soon.
Sure, man.
Awesome.
Just
All right.
say the word.
Okay, we'll do. Later.
Back.
Peace.
Oh, yeah, I was pissed. I missed that shit. It was
Yeah.
like wasn't it the only thing going on that night too? And I was like, dude, I gotta get out there. Like, I have no excuse. And then I got butt sick or something.
Butt sick.
Yeah, something
When
like
your
that.
bottom
It was like-
erupts.
Something's happening with
Yeah.
your butt.
Bye, Jerry. Bye-bye. I love you.
And then he started, or he recorded. Did he record some too?
I recorded a bunch.
And then I saw someone